to the Four-Post Massacre.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in live here tonight to the Four-Post Massacre first annual Royal Rumble special tonight, featuring Brian Zane. Right now, it's just me, the big bad Boo Bear, live with you for the Four-Post Massacre. He's going to be coming up with us in about 30 minutes to come live on the show. Yes, a live guest. And you don't get that very often. I'm telling you that right now. But until we get there, we're going to take a song break, and then I am going to give me time to share and get everybody in here. And then I'm going to talk a little about we got the Rumble and everything with him. I'm going to talk a little about the biggest piece of news also coming out of this week with Kurt Angle joining the Hall of Fame at WrestleMania time. We are going to bring up a few questions before he gets live, and I'm going to try and get them answered while he's here because he is the man. Brian Zane is awesome. He's been on the show once before. He's a great guy. He has a really cool show on YouTube called Wrestling with Regret. But you guys, we'll be back in about 8 or 9 minutes. Keep it live. Keep it locked. Keep it here with Exit 92 Radio. The Big Bad Boo Bears Four-Post Massacre. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a little bit.
on gave him good times. I never closed the door. Oh, and now he's gone. God, I don't know why. My man left the night crying, crying, crying. Once yesterday I had a man, but now I'm so lonely. Oh, and now I'm so lonely.
Yes, sir. That is The Coffee Shop by Electric Blue, a blues band out of Israel. Yeah, I know this isn't the blues hour, but, you know, I'm feeling bluesy tonight, and I definitely wanted to play some of them because I love them. No, they're really good, though. Check them out on the Bandcamp, on the YouTube. Remember, Exit 92 is a place for all independent unsigned artists, and if you are out there listening and you are an unsigned and independent artist, then you can get in contact with me. I'll get your music up here. If you know a band, get in contact with me. I'll get your music up here because that's what we do. That's who we celebrate. But, you know, this isn't about that tonight. This is the Four Post Massacre first annual Royal Rumble special. And, you know, we got the Z-Man coming up very soon, Mr. Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, which I am extremely excited about. Man, I love this guy. Like I said, he's been on the show once before, but he's really good, and I'm so excited to have him coming on here in a little bit. But since it's a special show, we're talking a lot more about WWE this show than we usually would. I know we usually about all this different stuff, but tonight, since the Royal Rumble is pretty big, this is a big Rumble we got coming up. Very big, very unpredictable. We really don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to start off with since it's a special, I'm going to do two of them. Yeah, one second. You know, you gotta love live radio, guys. Gotta love live radio. I'm so sorry for the interruption. It happens. You know how that is. But anyways, let's get back to it. Since this is a special show, the Royal Rumble being as big of an event as it is, I decided we would do specifically WWE, and to start off differently than we usually would. You know how I have been trying to get a routine down and remember to do the profile of the week, which is basically a wrestler I pick out of my big WWE encyclopedia. And we also, you know, we talk about just who it is, you know, just that person. And looks like I got somebody trying to call in here. We got somebody coming on already. Is that the Dino? Is that the Dino? Don't call me Shano, the man for your promo? With no volume? I'm not getting any volume there, Dino. Wait, I'm getting something.
What are you getting?
There it is. Dino, don't call me Shano, the man for your promo, Mac. Hey, buddy. Thanks for coming on with me tonight. I can hear you now. Good. Just about to start the profile of the week before we have Z-Man coming on. Brian Zane's coming on with us a little bit. I think I told you about him earlier this week. Wrestling with a Regret star, YouTube guy. He's coming on a little bit to talk about the Rumble. So I'm saving all my Rumble talk for then, so we can all, because we only got about 30, 45 minutes whenever he comes on, because he's got some stuff going on to talk about it. So we're saving that. But I'm doing the profile of the week, and we're doing two of them. Basically, I opened my big book of boo-boos, which I call my WWE book the Big Book of Boo Boos, because I don't know. I just it works, you know? It works, I guess.
Well, while you're doing that, Dino Mac is simply sharing
pressing that share
Exit 92's podcast.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you haven't already done that, what you need to do is download the Spreaker app at Google Play or the App Store or on your laptop or whatever you use to surf the internet. And what you need to do is share the show with all your friends. Doesn't matter what kind of friends you have, just share the show.
Yeah, I love listening to this. I'm just going to let the man talk.
And that's what I'm doing right now for Exit 92 Radio.
I just like letting the man talk because we call him the man for your promo because what you need to do is you need to download the Spreaker app. You're gonna create you a profile. And he's got like that Bob Ross. It's like some gentle voice that just makes me feel better inside. You know, it makes me.
You gotta wait until the next promo.
Wait until exactly. He is the man for your promo. All right, our profile of the week, which Dean, I don't know if you've been here for one of these. Basically, I just open up my big encyclopedia here. I flip the pages randomly. I'll even do a little. I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not.
Did you just lick your finger?
I may have. But we are going to pick a random profile and just talk about him for a minute. His goods, his bads, if we remember him, if we know who it is. And
shit, here we go.
Go. Number one. Damn, yeah, okay. So, obviously we know who this is. Classy Freddie Blassie.
Nice.
Yes, sir. That was a great wrestler. He was a better manager, though. I think Blassie was a way better manager than he was a wrestler. I've watched little bits of his stuff wrestling, but I know all about his managing. I mean, he managed Hogan, he managed the Giant, He managed anybody who was a wrestler in the 80s that meant that you remember that was worth a fuck. He managed.
Right.
This guy. Did you ever watch anything of Blassie's?
Not as far as the older stuff. I mean, he's a big deal. Freddie Blassie is an awesome guy. Just classy all the way around. No pun intended. He's actually from St. Louis, Missouri. He was born in February 8th, 1918. And unfortunately passed away in 2003. That dude was only 5'10".
No shit.
So,
he was a giant of a man for 5'10", though. Really
yes. Well, when you're on camera, and you work out in the gym, and you're on TV, stuff like this, and you're eating steak, shrimp, all the good stuff, filet mignon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure they was on the road a lot. I mean, you'd have to agree with that. A lot of fast food. Your camera adds 10 pounds. So, he may have looked, he may have appeared to be taller on I don't even think it was 480p back then on the boob tube.
Wow, yeah.
I really don't.
No. It was terrible. So, hey, we got a few factoids about Classy Freddie Blassie. Says his budding wrestling career was temporarily derailed when the United States Navy called him to serve in World War II. Did not know he was a World War II veteran. That's really cool.
Much respect for the man.
For real, much respect. To capitalize on his naval experience, he returned to the ring as Sailor Fred Blassie. That was his gimmick for a while. Terrible gimmick. Terrible gimmick.
Terrible.
The Sailor persona didn't take off the way. What?
Oh, I just said terrible.
Yeah, just terrible. It didn't really take off, which, I mean, come on, you're calling yourself Sailor Fred. I mean, no disrespect to the guy, but, it's... it says that he got the classy thing from his hair. The fans started calling him Classy Freddie Blassie because of the beach blonde thing he had going on. So it wasn't even really something he'd come up with.
Right.
That's really cool. He
was in a movie.
He has a movie?
Yeah, it's called My Breakfast with Blassie.
I've never seen that.
Never seen it?
No.
Nope, never seen it. I can't.
I need to see that. So that's Classy Freddie Blassie. He was the first one, and the second profile of this very special first annual Royal Rumble special 4-Post Massacre is... we landed on the championship page. From the very, very famous and up there in the wrestling royalty all the way down to Irwin R. Shyster.
Irwin R. Shyster.
IRS. Do you remember him from the 90s? He rode around with Teddy Blassie for a while. Was a part of the $1 Million Corporation.
Yeah. God, it's been so many beers.
So many beers. Oh, man.
Maybe all that heroin with Jake the Snake. I don't know.
He's referencing to an older show, guys.
And if you haven't got the chance, check out the archives, guy. I mean, seriously, I'm not trying to sell you on nothing. I'm not trying to promote another. But I am trying to get you to listen to a few of the other shows. This 4-Post Massacre, it's really got something. I really think Exit 92 Radio is going to go with this. I'm going to let you speak now, but this is awesome. Nick, Big Bad Boo Bear, you're doing great. Keep going.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Irwin R. Shyster, dude. Very interesting. Well, I half liked him and half didn't. Because his gimmick was, he was a heel, of course. He's doing your taxes. He was an evil accountant. That was like his gimmick. And I just don't know if I could be scared of an accountant. I don't know if I could get into the ring and legitimately know that my opponent is the IRS. And be
Lawrence Mike Rotunda. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Mike Rotunda is Lawrence Rotunda. Yeah.
Born March 30th in St. Petersburg, Florida. Height of 6'3". This dude was 6'3", man. That's 3 more inches taller than I am.
Yeah, he was 6'3", 248 pounds. His signature maneuver was called the write-off, which is, once again, not threatening. It just doesn't put fear in my bones. I don't know.
But at the time, it was good. At the time, it was a good.
It wasn't a bad gimmick. I've never been a fan of IRS.
You know, I did go to H&R Block one time. Saw this guy there.
Did you?
I mean, old as shit. You know, there he is, IRS. I was like, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "Do you happen aren't you in?" Well, at the time, I asked him. I was like, "Aren't you in the WWF?" And he said, "I have no idea what you're talking about. You owe the government taxes." I was all like, "You owe something on my duck."
Oh my god! Oh my god! Good to see Mike in the chat.
Mike's in here. Nice.
Yeah. I was trying to get a hold of him. I think he was doing something earlier. I think he's going to try and come on with us as well. I don't know though. But yeah. So let's see. Erwin R. Shyster. Let's see. He was a technically sound competitor. Was not afraid to wall up opponents with his trusty briefcase. Yeah, because he was a heel. He made it to the finals of the 1991 King of the Ring, where he met Bret the Hitman Hart. Soon after, he joined forces with another superstar who was infatuated with money. Yeah, $1 Million Man. I love Ted DiBiase. I believe,
classic guy.
Yeah, he had his first taste of gold after winning the WWE World Tag Team Championship on February 7th, 1992.
I'm going to check out his wife right now. I'm going to check out Stephanie Rotunda. I'm just going to check her out real quick. Let's see images.
I see Jay has joined us in the chatty.
Now, look, IRS's wife is actually not that bad. I mean, he's 58 years of age. I mean, she's got to be between what 50 and 60 at least, give or take.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just wanting to know who's sleeping with the IRS, you know?
I knew you were going to go there with it. I knew it. Yeah, IRS and Classy Freddie Blassie are your two profiles, WWE profiles of the week.
Awesome. I like that. How you do that. That's pretty that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. I came up when my mom, because I love her to death and she knows everything about me, decided to get me the entire encyclopedia for the WWE for Christmas. And I mean entire. I mean, it goes from everybody from the Repo Man to the Sandman. yeah, everybody. Fucking, they don't skip nothing. They let you know exactly Sam Houston is in here. Do you remember Sam Houston? Not very many people remember who that guy was. I liked him. He was underdone. I think he was just supposed to be a jobber, but he really came out and he was a great wrestler. I like the style. He was in a Survivor Series that I watched. No, but I don't. It's really good. I would pick it up. Anybody out there, if you have the extra cash on you, to hit up a Books A Million. Dude, find it. It's really worth the money because just for stuff like this, like I of course could never read this entire thing. There's just too much, but it's just so good to flip through and get the little fact. Like Classy Freddie Blassie. I've had this thing since December, and I didn't even know he was in the Navy. That was really cool. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that about Classy.
No, neither did I. I think Mike's trying to come in now. You guys hear a sound that sounds all soundy, like soundy thing. I'm trying to pimp this guy coming in. You're trying
to pimp something, but it ain't working out.
Yeah, no, it's not. Mike, Mellow Mike Tenay, are you there? Yes? No?
We can't see you, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go, Mellow Mike.
There he is.
Mellow Mike Tenay, former WWE commentating champion, former WCPW Slam King of the Month. Mellow Mike Tenay is here with us live on the Four Post Massacre.
Wait a minute, hold the phone. Hold the phone here. Mellow Mike.
Yeah.
You have titles? You have championships?
He does.
Quite possibly.
He does. I have pictures.
No, wait a minute. When was the match? Now hold on here. Why didn't I get?
He faced Glacier
Oh,
and the Kiss Demon at one time. Beat them both. I was there. The Kiss Demon was
Okay. I'm just going to stick to promos. I'll just stick to promos.
Mellow Mike today. Good to have you on, buddy. We got Dino. Don't call me Shano. I can't. It takes me a minute. Sometimes I forget. Dino, don't call me. No, it's got to be the other way around, though, doesn't it?
It's just, ladies and gentlemen, it's just Dino Mac.
No, it's not
just Dino Mac.
Don't listen to him.
On Exit 92 Radio, I have the longest. Well, I don't know. Somebody look that up. What is the longest nickname in history? Just want to know. Anyways.
Yeah, it's Dino.
wrestling.
It's Dino. Don't call me Shano, the man for your promo, Mac. That's the way it is. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. Just get over it. But yeah, we got the Z-Man Brian Zane coming on in 4 minutes. So speaking of the Royal Rumble, I don't want to get too far into it because we're about to do a lot of Royal Rumble talk. Just real quick, let me get who you guys want to win this year. If you want to go first.
Oh, I didn't know. I hear Mellow Mike typing.
Yeah, I think he's sharing it around for us.
He's got those mad key skills.
Got those mad key skills,
bruh. My take, the way I see it, who I want to win is Undertaker.
Oh, you're gonna be that guy?
No, I have a reasoning for it, but we didn't want to talk too much about the Royal Rumble. All I know is that John Cena went off script, got mad at everybody for saying that he was supposed to. Rumor has it that he was supposed to face the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Just got a feeling that Taker wins the Rumble, Cena wins the title, and there you have your main event. Just a feeling, just a funny feeling. Who I want to win? I'm sorry, but if Shawn Michaels can be called Mr. WrestleMania, Kofi Kingston needs to be Mr. Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. That's for sure. I mean, if anybody gets the title of Mr. Royal Rumble, it needs to go to him. I mean, he is just every Royal Rumble I've ever watched with him in it. He has absolutely astounded me with the things that he does to get back to the fucking ring.
Yes.
Maybe if he didn't suck so bad.
I got the longest name for you. The longest nickname.
The longest nickname. Okay, Mellow Mike Tanay with his key skills and facts has found it for us.
All right, so it's an MMA star. His name is Matt Horwich. His nickname is Multiverse Surfing Sabertooth River Dolphin.
Excuse the fuck out of me. One more time, please.
Multiverse Surfing Sabertooth River Dolphin.
I'm done. There's no even reason to continue. I mean, fuck it. That name was long enough. Probably took up the rest of our time. You tried to spell that name.
We want to thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, yeah. No, if you tried to spell that name, it would legitimately probably break a fourth grader's mind. I need you to spell this, and they would be like, dude, I just figured out how to spell road the state way, so get off me, all right?
I sent a photo of him in speaker chat.
Did you? Okay. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Let's see. Before I get Mr. Brian Zane on in just a minute, actually. 60 seconds before I give him a call.
I need to know about this Brian Zane. Who's Brian Zane?
Brian Zane is the greatest person you will ever meet, I promise.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Awesome.
No, I'll give him a full intro because I talked to him a little bit before you got here, so everybody else has heard it once or twice. But I'll give you a full intro.
How have you not heard of him?
Wait, okay, so Michael knows who he is. Dino, where the hell have you been? Michael knows. Michael is from Canada, and he knows. If Canadians know, then you're behind. Us as America need to be ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Thanks
He's
a lot,
got his own
Dino.
YouTube channel. He's been a promoter. He's done a lot of crap.
He's really good. He's very good. Mm-hmm. I will have to link you to some of his stuff after, dude, because his wrestling channel is just very informative. A lot of stuff I didn't know about, I learned off his channel. Mm-hmm. And so,
nice.
Yeah, he's really good, and he's an old school fan, but he expresses his like for the new stuff. So
Yeah.
We're giving him a call now.
Nice.
Bringing him on. One Mr. Z-Man,
also,
Brian
you
Zane.
forgot to mention Moolah earlier when you were talking about DiBiase.
Nobody cares about Moolah.
Damn.
All right, I think we've got Brian. Are you there, bud?
I am here, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian Zane to the show. One Mr. Wrestling with Regret. He is Mr. Wrestling with Regret. Dino, this is Brian. Michael, this is Brian. These guys are my co-hosts, Brian.
Good to meet all of you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, good meeting you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Dino, Brian is he's a YouTube personality. Michael knows who you are. I knew who you are. Dino was a little confused. He's a YouTube personality. He's been doing a show called Wrestling with Regret for how long now?
Gosh, Wrestling with Regret has been going on 3.5 years now. It'll be 4 years in June.
4 years in June. This guy has done so much. Didn't you get was it like a silver or platinum plaque from YouTube for how many million hits or how many 100,000 hits?
No, they give you a special plaque for... gosh, you know what? I have to let you go. This is I'm here watching my kid, and she just got sick. This has never happened before, I'm sure, in the history of podcasting. But my kid is getting sick right now, so I had to hang up.
Do you mean to call you back later? Or?
Yeah, you know what? I'll get back to you. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, bye.
No problem. No problem. So, hey,
yeah, that happens.
Life happens. You know what I mean?
That happens. Yeah, life happens.
Okay.
I got a little one too, so. I definitely know how that is. Hope she's okay. Hope the baby's okay. All right.
And I like how he immediately got off of there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he went straight to his kid.
Oh, of course.
That's awesome.
What,
that was awesome.
Yeah, good dude. I told you, good dude. We'll have to try and reschedule.
Not only does he have a...
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go. It's internet connection. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to try and reschedule the interview. It's fine. I'll get him on another time. But, so, now since Brian can't make it tonight, I guess we can get started with the Royal Rumble thing. This is the specific Royal Rumble talk, basically. So, let's get started. WWE has done a great thing this year by being able to present us with such a clouded storyline segment leading up to the Royal Rumble that honestly, all of us as fans I really have no idea who's going to win. Usually I can pick who I think is going to win this Rumble, and I'm either like right on the money or right beside it. You know, last year I picked Dean Ambrose to win last year, but unfortunately, Trips won. So, that was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you can usually kind of tell who you think is going to win, depending on what's going on in the storyline. So, I legitimately have no idea who's going to win the thing. And I think it's really cool. It's made it very exciting. And I just got a 50-inch smart TV, like, today, so I'm going to be watching it on that, so... But, what do you guys think?
What in this blue hell was that?
What?
That sounded like you just murdered a mouse.
Maybe.
I might have murdered a mouse.
Wow. Okay. Yep. There just went his cousin. All right. What do you want to say about it? What do you want to say? Mike, I want to hear your take on it. Like, sir, you go first. I want to hear your take on the Rumble.
Like, what exactly do you want me to go into detail on this Rumble?
I want to know who you think's going to win it. I want to know who you want to win it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear what you have to say about the Rumble as a whole this year, for this year.
One moment here. I'm just closing something out here. Alright. So, for me, Rumble-wise right now, I'm not 100% certain who I would like to win. Because there's all these champions that have been put out there for the list, and some of these people are coming back and haven't been like in the WWE for a while. So yeah, like with isn't Angle coming back or?
he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, but there's no guarantee that he'll be at the Rumble. Me and Heavy D, we really do think he's going to show up in the Rumble.
Because that's what I was hearing. I've been hearing that he's going to be coming back.
Angle.
And I think
Same with Stone Cold.
Angle's not returning for the Rumble.
Either the Rumble or you're going to see him at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania possibly, but I don't see him coming back for the Rumble. And actually, I watched this on Wrestling with Regret earlier because I was watching a few of my favorite episodes, and that was a new one that came up. I have to agree with Brian when he said that he didn't think Angle was going to return to the Rumble because it would kind of dilute his... I mean, think about it. There's so much stuff going on that him coming back to the Rumble would kind of dilute his return. It would make it not as special when you've got so much going on with The Undertaker, with Goldberg, with Brock Lesnar, with John Cena. You've got all these things going on at the Rumble. It would make him coming back look a little smaller than what it should be, I think. And that's what he said. And I kind of agree.
You can't forget Hulk's supposed return during the Rumble.
Who?
Hulk.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
No, he ain't coming back.
They were talking about it.
I hope not.
There's
He needs to stay away from the ring.
Coming back too.
why does he need to stay away from the ring?
Because he's too old. He's done. He needs to just go to the pasture.
The only thing
just...
with me and the Hulk here that I gotta say is if they were to shove him in the Rumble, he'd probably win it because every single match he's had wrestling, he's never given up a match. Even if he's supposed to give it up, he doesn't want to give it up.
And if Hogan won the Royal Rumble, I'd be outraged. I'd be pissed. I'd be fucking mad. Because, dude, honestly, like I was telling you guys earlier, me not knowing who's going to win, I'm actually solidly okay with 6 out of the 7 people that I think is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
The 7th one being Roman Reigns, and nobody wants to see him win the Royal Rumble. Come on, I mean,
No.
So, yeah, I'm solidly okay with Braun Strowman winning. I'm okay with Goldberg. I'm okay with Lesnar. I'm okay with Ambrose, possibly, if he's in it. Who was he? Undertaker, I'd be okay if he won. I have a hope that Goldust will win. So, that's just me. And then you've got the 7th, that's Roman Reigns, and nobody really cares about him. Oh, yeah, 8, Seth Rollins. I don't care if he wins either. I'd be cool with that. But, the Royal Rumble...
It's one of those things that I've been seeing pop up all over the internet.
So you think Hogan's going to return? Do you think he's going to win, though? I mean, do you legitimately think they're going to give it to him?
They probably wouldn't give it to him if he ended up doing a comeback. It wouldn't be good for them. It's just his name and him as a wrestler means that he's got that brand. And for him to go into a match and lose is not like him. So that's just my thing. Like, he wouldn't want to give it up.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he never gives up a single matchup that he has.
Look at
Shawn
Andre
Michaels.
The Giant. Yeah.
Back
but
when they
legitimately,
were on Roddy Piper's show.
But legitimately, the thing with Andre, I mean, I think it was the right thing to do by giving the win to Hogan, even if it was supposed to go another way. I mean, Hogan should have won that one because that was like an underdog fight.
Hogan always wins. He never wants to let somebody else be the bigger man or put somebody else over because
he put Warrior over.
He's that brand.
He put The Rock over.
Well, yeah, but that's The Rock. That was after all that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He was getting
in
old.
His prime.
He wanted to move on.
But he, I think, honestly, because I know you guys talked about who you think was going to win. I legitimately, even though I hate it even coming from my mouth, out of my mind, over the gums and into the air. I hate the fact that this is about to come out of my mouth, but I really do believe they're going to give it to Roman.
Might be an idea.
Just think about it.
What?
Well, go ahead. Go. What you're saying?
I'm like, I want you to explain. You go ahead.
Okay, so think about it. Let's say, because I know Roman Reigns is taking on Kevin Owens at the Rumble. Let's say, for shits and giggles, let's say he wins the strap at the Rumble, and he's not in the Royal Rumble. So I was wrong. Okay, let me reverse this because I've completely turned myself around. I got distracted. My wife was trying to tell me something at the exact same time that I'm trying. I'm gonna do a rewind. Okay. So, the terrible words that I'm thinking they're going to do, I think they're going to let Roman Reigns win the title from AJ, or Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble, and then him take on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that is the legit thing that's going to happen. And I think it's probably if not the first, but the totally worstest fucking idea they could ever do. Do you want to know why I think this is the worst fucking idea that they could ever do?
Why?
Because it's not going to work! Because The Undertaker cannot put over Roman Reigns.
Anything's possible.
No, dude. No, The Undertaker, I'm sure he'll be all for the idea. I'm sure Taker will be good to do it. Yeah, I'll put him over. Undertaker. But he's not going to be able to do it. If The Rock can't put Roman Reigns over, if Goldberg can't put Roman Reigns over, then how the hell do you expect The Undertaker to put Roman Reigns over? It's not possible.
Who could probably put him over, even though he's not even anywhere near Royal Rumble material right now. Santino.
Santino is more Royal Rumble material than him?
No, he's not Royal Rumble material. But he could put him over. He could flip him over easily, hands down.
No, Santino couldn't put him over. He doesn't have the ability.
He swagger like 2 times in a row.
Santino was good for what he was, which was comic relief. I like Santino specifically for that. Nothing else.
The Italian challenge.
Still bad, though. It was in a
I don't
time
see
when-
any money coming out of that. And I don't see any money coming out of Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. That's not going to happen.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's probably... Vince has got a hard-on for Roman. It's gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you, that is like the... I can guarantee that that's probably going to be the biggest possibility. Now, the second biggest is going to be...
Goldberg.
You say it's going to be Goldberg?
They can't keep him in the full Rumble because they're going to show his true potential, which isn't quality, like because of his age. He's going to show his age, and then it's just going to go downhill from there for him.
See, but how do you book Goldberg now? See, the Survivor Series thing, as we all know, some of us weren't fans of it. The Survivor Series thing, the biggest problem with that, in my opinion, is the fact that now you can't book Goldberg in a match that goes any longer than it did with Lesnar, or you're going to make Lesnar look like a bitch.
Yeah. Simple as that. So he's going to be one of the first few people over.
I mean, it's just going to be weird if, Lesnar or Goldberg goes to have a match with, for shits and giggles, let's say he does a match on Raw one week with, Braun Strowman. And if Braun Strowman goes longer than, a minute 20, is he now tougher than Brock Lesnar? How do you book him in a Rumble? unless he's legitimately the first person to go over within, 45 seconds of the match starting, I don't see how you can book Goldberg in the Rumble. I just don't. I'm a Goldberg fan, and I would love...
Here's what I think might happen. Lesnar gets flipped over by Goldberg, and then Goldberg gets flipped over afterwards, just to keep his little shining moment.
But I still say...
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, I like that, too. That's not a bad idea. That way, they both win. Nobody gets to make it look like a bitch, and you still have something there. You can still plan a story for Lesnar and Goldberg. Because, dude, look what the possibilities between Lesnar and Goldberg are not over yet. Just because they've had one match, that could easily be done again, except an actual fucking match. Even though I am a fan of the way they did it, because that was vintage Goldberg. That was vintage WCW 1996 Goldberg. 97.
Dad, keep it going. That's how he won. That's how he left. And that's how they wanted him to come back.
That's fine, but I do want to see a match that goes longer than that. I would like to see a 10, 15-minute match, between Goldberg.
You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that out of Goldberg.
Here we come. Here we go. Here comes the naysayer. The naysayer of naysayers.
Look. Unless he took some Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, whatever the fuck he took, and learned how to ground grapple, then yes, you will see that. But as far as professional wrestling, hence the word professional wrestling, you will not see no Chris Benoit, no Bret Hart, no Shawn Michaels, no Dean Malenko, no technical skills out of Goldberg at all.
Don't forget, like, Brutus.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah.
I love Brutus.
You're not going to see that out of Goldberg. You're just not going to.
But he's not a technical wrestler. Lesnar really isn't even a technical wrestler. He's a good faker. He does the Kimura lock. That's pretty good, Pretty good, I guess. Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
Yeah.
These two are exactly what they need to be. They are powerhouses. They are two balls of fucking fire and fury and spears. That's what they are, and it's
not like
trained.
Back in the day, watching like Nick Bockwinkel or somebody going technical, like grapples, all that shit.
Backhand Studios in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Love him. But yeah, these two are two balls of fury that need to explode. They need to explode and just destroy each other. So we need to see that, and we can see that, and I definitely think the way they opened this feud up was good, but it's time to capitalize, and WrestleMania is the place to capitalize. Mm-hmm. Don't do it at Roadblock. Don't do it at Payback. Don't do it at Speedy Line Fight Construction Name. Do it at WrestleMania. Okay? That's where you're...
Wait a minute. Why?
Because WrestleMania it's the Mecca. It is the synagogue. It is the church. It's the chapel of wrestling fans. It's where it needs to be done. This is a holy event.
Kind of like WCW Starrcade.
No,
it's Starrcade. God, I miss Starrcade. Yeah. I miss Starrcade, bro. I legitimately miss Starrcade. I only got to see one or two.
Honestly, though. Think of promotional.
You mentioned
promotional.
Did you forget NWA?
NWA.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned WCW's big headliner. You got WWE. You forgot NWA.
NWA, I don't know enough about purely NWA. I know a bit about Jim Crockett Promotions WCW, and I know a lot about, of course, Ted Turner's WCW. But going any further back than that, you start to lose me. I mean, the farthest I can go is Flair for the Gold, 1985, 86, with Ric Flair, and I think it was the first Starrcade, I believe. That's as far as I go. After that, I start getting into waters that I'm not really too sure about. Can you, if you could, because actually I just got a message from Z-Man, Brian Zane, saying that he was going to try and come back on with us in just a minute. So we're going to try him in 2 more minutes and see if he's good, if everything's okay now. Hope his kid's okay. Hate that when your kids are sick. But if you could pick somebody past or present to see them win a Rumble and go for a strap at WrestleMania this year, I guess, maybe we can say any year, but who would you like to see win the Royal Rumble and go for the strap? Who would be the guy for you?
Out of who's in the Rumble right now?
Anybody. I mean, Rumble now, past or present. Well, we'll go. You know what? Fuck it. We'll go Royal Rumble now. If you could pick somebody out of the Royal Rumble now, besides the main storyline character, say it doesn't have to be anybody specific. It's just, how it should be, like just randomly royal, random Royal Rumble winner, who would you pick?
Let's see here.
With the people that's in the Rumble this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said past or present.
I did at one point, but Michael was like, "The people
It's
now."
fine. No, we can do both. We'll do one.
Oh yeah,
of
fuck
each.
it, both. We'll just do both.
All right. So as of right now, let's see. Well, I mean,
Who?
I'm tossed up here. I'm
okay.
leaning. I was gonna lean towards Jericho, but the fact that he's trying to leave so he can get back to his gig with Fozzy for their tour that they're going on. I guess I'll have to go with Randy.
I wouldn't mind that. Randy Orton would be cool to see.
Rematch with Taker.
Oh yeah, that'd be a great way to do it too.
Yeah.
So okay.
I didn't like that match.
I actually thought it was good. It could have been better. It could have been better, but it was good. It was a solid WrestleMania match. It wasn't Undertaker WrestleMania match, but it was solid, which was all I asked for. Was a solid match. Hey, a little bit of factoid there about that match. Taker, up until like about 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, Taker had planned on giving the streak up that night. It was supposed to be it.
He was the Legend Killer.
Yeah, they wanted to pimp him as he was supposed to be the Legend Killer, and the legend of all legends, is the Undertaker. And he
was the second Legend Killer. We gotta state that, because the first one was Roddy Piper.
First one, that's right.
Hot Rod T-shirt.
Yeah, so Randy's a good choice, though. Definitely a good choice. And Dino, who would you think to want to have win the Royal Rumble, past or present?
Past or present, I definitely have got to be. If it's going to be past, seriously, Shelton Benjamin. You want to talk about underrated wrestlers? That guy has got some. He has some really good potential, and I would have to say present. I'm still going with Kofi Kingston. The guy can do amazing stuff, and I think that he needs to start a streak at the Rumble. Not necessarily put him over at WrestleMania, just have him win the Rumble and see who can outdo Kofi Kingston. It's just amazing what that guy comes up with.
Yeah, Kofi is pretty damn awesome. By the way, welcome back. Brian, everything okay now, bud?
Yeah, the little one's feeling a little better. She started watching some Clifford on Netflix, and she said she's all better. So, crisis averted, I guess. Parenting 101, baby.
Yeah, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about. Clifford, mine was, she was always a big fan of the two, Peppa Pig. That was her thing. She loves her some Peppa Pig.
Yeah, we should just do a podcast about cool kids shows. I think
really
that'd be
should. Yeah.
time.
We can talk about rock and wrestling one day. Yeah, it would be some really good stuff.
Right.
No, yeah, Brian. Before we get seriously into your opinions about the Rumble, we were just talking a little about who we would have liked to have won, past or present. Any going with this Royal Rumble, past or present. Who would you like to see win the Royal Rumble? No specific storylines, nothing like that. Do you have any specific people that you've never got to see win a Royal Rumble you'd like to see win, or?
Well, that's an interesting question, because there's so many people who are quote unquote deserving of winning the Rumble. I think just from the years past, you look at some previous winners and you think that somebody else should have won. Like last year, I think Dean Ambrose should have won. The year before that, probably Daniel Bryan. Maybe that's 2 years ago, I'm thinking. Daniel Bryan was 31. So, it's tough. As far as people like I personally admire who I wish I got to see win a Royal Rumble, like, I don't know, someone perhaps like Mick Foley would have been nice to see win a Rumble.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I mean, hell, he had a 1 in 10 chance at Royal Rumble '98. He came out as 3 different people.
Yeah, he really. I didn't get to see it live, but I'd have loved to. That was some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's too bad. The thing with that is something like that will never happen again. I don't think in our lifetimes.
No, but one of the biggest reasons on why something like that won't happen again is because you don't see very many characters in wrestling anymore. And I mean, they're starting to come back a little bit. There's like a death crawl back into like mainstream wrestling is characters. Finn Balor, I really enjoyed that. The first time I ever seen him was just year before last or so. I got away from wrestling for a while and was watching bits and pieces of old stuff and watched Finn Balor. And I loved the fact that he came in with the face paint and the streamer is very Japanese oriented. You don't see very many characters in wrestling like Foley anymore. I miss those gimmicks sometimes. I get tired of those.
And I think that's part of the reason that wrestling isn't as like cool and popular as it was back in the late '90s. And I think the characters has a big thing to do with it because now everyone wants to be like real and like they want to be a shoot fighter and they want to be like a tough guy, normal person. And it's like everyone wants to be like character. No one wants to make the leap and be like an Adam Rose or a Bray Wyatt. And so you've got all these like normal dudes, quote unquote.
Nobody's got a gimmick. I agree with that.
No one's got a gimmick. And so I think, if you look back at the times when wrestling was its most popular and most, fun to watch, it's when maybe not everyone was a character. Because, when you had that, you had, the early to mid 90s WWF when everyone was a character and that was too much. But then if you look back at the Attitude Era and the Golden Era, there was like a healthy mix of like normal people and like crazy ass characters.
Yeah, it was variety.
So I think I feel now like the ratio is like I feel it's like 10-1 in favor of normal people, but like back when it was more successful, I'd say it was almost 50-50 or at the very most like 6-4.
Yeah, I mean it was just a better time for wrestling. Some better Royal Rumbles came out of those years too. There were some really good Royal Rumble matches.
99 was terrible. I think 99 was the first Rumble I ever watched. But like when you look back at it and like the power of hindsight, like oof, there's a lot of dead moments in that Royal Rumble. Because like half of it was just Awesome McMahon, and like half the time the ring was just empty, and like you had to watch the back to find out what was going on. But yeah, the last 5 Rumbles especially, I think, have been very disappointing for a combination of reasons. Some because the fan base wanted someone else to win. There was an other, and and that didn't happen, and so we had to settle, but we didn't want to settle. We rioted and stuff, and so there's that. Or it's like, I think the year Sheamus won. I think it's 2012. Like that was the first of the trend where it's like, I think, and Sheamus beat Jericho finally to win the Rumble. And I really wanted Jericho to win. I think that would have been cool then to do it. And and I don't know if you got to predictions yet, but I am predicting Chris Jericho to win the Rumble this Sunday.
Really?
So, yeah, and I think the reason that being his story with Kevin Owens is the longest going storyline. It's it makes the most sense, and so I'm totally down for a Chris Jericho Royal Rumble win. And I don't know how much longer he's going to stay in the company after WrestleMania, but I think like him and Kevin wrestling at WrestleMania for the Universal title is like the best way to blow that feud off.
So
because he's not going to be on for long, because he's got his Fozzy tour that he's going to be doing.
Right, that's fine. I'm not saying that. I think the way the business model is now, the way the show is booked, they don't necessarily rely on the future stars anymore. They're just like, how many part timers can we bring back? And so, what I think they're going to, and so the fact that Chris Jericho's not in it for the long haul, I don't think is going to harm it hugely. I think it's just an issue of like what makes for the best story. And right now, Jericho's makes the best story.
Yeah, Jericho and Owens' blow up is something that I have been waiting for. That fight is going to be absolutely insane. So I have been waiting for that, but I don't know. I feel like there's a possibility of them giving it to Taker. I really feel like, because like I told them earlier, you were gone a moment. I have a feeling that the way they're going to do it is, Vince has still been kind of working on Roman. He's still got this hard on for Roman. And I feel like he's going to have Roman beat AJ. Or, I did it again. Roman beat Kevin at the Royal Rumble for the title. And then he's going to have Undertaker win the Royal Rumble. and he's gonna have the Rumble set up between the Undertaker and Roman Reigns, 1-on-1 for the strap. And I don't feel like, and I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think the Undertaker is going to be able to put him over the way that they think he can, because Roman just is not going
that would be
over.
disastrous.
Yeah,
disastrous, because unless the Undertaker started like doing some serious heel stuff, it'd be hard for fans to really boo him, especially at WrestleMania, when you consider like the bulk of WrestleMania audiences are smart fans. You know, it's like it's the smarkiest damn crowd in wrestling history every year is WrestleMania. So you know, and I never thought of the Undertaker Roman Reigns possibility. I was thinking like Roman Strowman, just because the name rhymes and I think it's fun. But I hadn't thought about Taker and Roman before. I've actually just tonight, me and Jay Biggs, who's a regular on my show, discussed our Rumble predictions. We were trying to talk about like what matches on Sunday are going to impact WrestleMania. We didn't even entertain the idea of Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, but like, you know, if you put it, especially Roman and Undertaker, that's what I mean. We didn't entertain the idea of Roman and Undertaker, but it's a possibility, I guess. I mean, like that's the thing, you know, the Vincent Mann's his decision and his ideas, they change like the wind, you know. So it could be like today he thinks Cena Taker is good, the next day he thinks, you know, bring Snooki back. Why not? And so it's a bit of exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. It's like nothing is for certain until the day of the WrestleMania, apparently. That's kind of what we've learned.
Well, I feel like, you know, it's not that I don't think that it would be a bad match. It's just that I don't feel like, well, actually, yeah, it probably would be a bad match. But I think that they're still trying to work on getting Roman over. And Roman's not going to go over. I'm sorry, they've tried everything. The Rock couldn't put him over. You know, a lot of the locker room who have been some of the greatest heels ever could not put him over as a face. Mm-hmm. I think they need to just bring him to the heel side. You know, put him as a heel. Let him work with that heel demeanor. You know, while he still has time, and they can maybe bring something out of him, because I just don't think Roman is cut out to be as in the spot that he's in. I don't think he's main event material right now. I don't think he's supposed to be in the main event.
No, I mean, the thing is, I really wish that they had just given him the belt at WrestleMania 31. People would have hated it, but at least we would have got it out of the way. You know, instead of them pushing him, people resisting it, and then they decided to change their mind the last minute. You know, and then what they wound up doing is they spent the next year trying to rehabilitate his image. And it worked almost to a degree. They almost had it. They almost got away with it. If it weren't for that meddling writing staff that tripped over themselves, because they made it work for like 1 week at the very end of 2015. And they liked Roman when he won the title then, after he beat Sheamus. But like after that, they couldn't recreate the magic. And so like if they had just given him the championship at WrestleMania 31 and they dealt with it and they had, you know, people hated it and stuff. It basically what we got in 2016 was just a delayed version of what we were going to get in 2015. And if they had gotten it out of their systems and tried the Roman Reigns main event experiment then I think we'd be having a much different story, a much different narrative about Roman Reigns. So that, I think, is a great, you know, I wouldn't say injustice, but I would say it was a missed opportunity. I think if they had stuck with their guns then, I think it would have been ultimately just better, because we would have had the Roman Reigns experience and we would have gotten it out of our systems.
Yeah, I think it would have been better that way, honestly, too. So I asked you this earlier before we continue, because I don't want to forget about it. And I know how Dino feels about it, and Dino, you're more than welcome to chime in again, but. So you just really don't think...
Oh, I just don't see no promotional value. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut in. Could be a bad connection, but I don't see any promotional value in Roman Reigns anymore. He needs to earn his stripes. He's doing that. He's doing that right now. I don't see any more interest in Roman Reigns as far as the company goes. I don't see them looking at him like, okay, we're going to push, because they was pushing him, and he got pushed back from the fans.
Well, it's as if that they didn't learn from their mistake with Rocky Maivia. because I don't think they were going to make him the top guy right away, but it's like people did not like Rocky Maivia, and it wasn't until he became a bad guy that really people connected better with him. Because first they had a reason to hate him instead of just saying, instead of just being defiant and counterculture, they had a reason to hate him, and then over time, The Rock won the fans over to become a good guy that way. So I think that it's so obvious, like right in front of your face, obvious to try and repeat history and just turn Roman Reigns heel and then let him work the way back up. Because I think that's what they should have done. They should have done that at Survivor Series 2015. Have like Roman win the title and then heel on Dean Ambrose afterward, or like vice versa or something. Have Ambrose win, then Roman heels on him or something. And then like from there, he spends a lot of time as a heel. And then he earns his way back into the hearts and minds of fans. Actually, someone on Reddit Squared Circle had a very good point. The reason Roman Reigns isn't getting over now is because his character is basically like an 80s jock. And like he's just like so smug and like, but people don't like that kind of attitude anymore. If you look at someone who like Bailey or Sami Zayn or Daniel Bryan, it's like these kind of like, that's the kind of character that fans resonate toward more. Like Roman Reigns he's not an everyman.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is that fans are really starting to like the everyman thing, and they're really starting to kind of like the hero thing again. The hero, like Bailey, she is sort of like a female superhero. She's like a hugging female superhero. It's awesome.
One of the worst superpowers of all time.
I don't know, man. Hug your opponent into submission. I feel like that would be useful. I mean, I'm just saying, you grab them real quick, you bear hug them. Like you're one of the putskis, and you just, that's it. It's everyone.
I think probably the problem. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
It's all good. Go ahead.
Oh no, I think part of the reasons most wrestlers, I think the fans now are short attention spans. 1 minute they like this person, 1 minute they don't. I think to the fans now, to the type of society, I think it's cool to just like the other guy. Oh well, we know this guy may win. We looked it up on the internet. I think we're going to look at this guy. I honestly feel that being 34 years of age and seeing the different eras of wrestling coming up, it really is a trend to like the other guy because it's so predictable anymore. You know what I mean? And I don't blame them. I don't blame them whatsoever. You need to spice it up a little bit. I think that's one of my problems.
Here's the thing: is I think that like now the fans are so smart and like it's so known for so long who they want to invest their money in, the company that is, who they want to invest their time in, saying this is our guy. Like John Cena was interesting because when we saw his rise, like, it kind of came from out of nowhere and it felt kind of organic because like he did the whole rapper thing. First he was the bland John Cena, and no one really cared about it until he started doing the rap thing, and that was a big heel character, and that got a lot of heat. And then over time, people liked it. It was just kind of like an anti-hero that everyone really like gravitated toward. So then there was this brief moment where pretty much everyone liked John Cena. It's hard to believe now in 2017 that there was ever a period like that, but that's kind of how it was. And so then it got to this point where it's okay, John Cena, he's U.S. champion, yay. John Cena, he's world champion, yay. Like, oh, John Cena keeps winning. John Cena keeps winning. John Cena keeps winning. He keeps beating guys that we like also. Like, oh, now it's like now we see what they did. Now we realize, oh, we've been conned. We've been tricked into liking this person who the company gets behind. It's like the fans honestly felt like they were tricked, I think. That they felt that they were duped into liking a pet project. And so, and that's a no-no, they got to like the underdogs. And so what they did for the next 10 years was boo the guy because he represented the establishment. That's why they gravitated toward, CM Punk and that sort of thing. And Daniel Bryan, in my opinion. And with Roman Reigns, he was going to be the next guy. And I think what the internet fans, everyone's an internet fan because everyone's on the internet now. But I think what fans said was like, nope, we're not getting fooled again. We are not going to support this guy under any circumstance whatsoever. We're going to, make sure that this guy is not our guy. And to a certain extent, it's working. They basically, the adult fan base didn't want to get fooled like they did with John Cena. And they're just kind of nipping that in the bud. And that's kind of, in my opinion, a reason why Roman Reigns isn't getting over. And I don't think that any other pet project by the company is going to get over now in the future as a result of that.
That's pretty good because they couldn't even get the fans to hate Austin when Austin turned heel there in the 2000s. It didn't matter what Austin did.
In their defense, though, Austin was a terrible heel. He really was.
Well, see, that's the thing. Austin was a heel no matter what. He didn't, his character, again, we're talking about gimmicks that nobody has anymore. That was his gimmick. His gimmick was, a pissed off Texan whooping everybody's ass. And I mean, seriously.
I mean, even the pissed off Texan gimmick, it had like the softer side. The thing that made you want to like him was the fact that he was fucking with the just or the unjust. It was like a Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And he started off as a heel, and then he slowly turned into a face because everybody loved the way he was treating Bret the Hitman Hart, the square. Because that's what Bret was. He was a square. Love Bret.
The Shield is very reminiscent. Their story arc is very reminiscent to the way Austin's was. If you think about it, because they were heels, they beat up. They were fighting the unjust, and that usually meant they were fighting the baby faces. But eventually, they started turning their way toward the heels, and then people started liking them. They're doing the same thing they did before. They were just attacking faces now, and fans ate it up.
Yeah, I remember I was on and off for a little bit there while that was going on, but I was a fan of Dean through that whole thing. I loved the way Dean reminded me of especially after the Shield broke up, he still reminds me of like a possible Mick Foley type wrestler. Like I know what he did in CZW, and so this isn't new to him. That kind of wrestling is definitely not new, but I felt like that was going to be the direction they were going to take him, and they definitely tried real hard, especially that Jericho feud they had him in, and then the Kevin Owens feud. But I don't know. It didn't stick here. Not here for some reason. It hasn't stuck all the way. He's still lunatic and crazy, but I don't know. I feel like
now he's like silly.
Yeah,
they made him silly. It was the problem.
Like it's still like Mick Foley, except like post sell. Like pulling the sock out of his pants, silly. Which
right.
Nothing wrong with that, but yeah. There's that dead silence, we really like to have.
Yeah. I was just thinking about how I don't even like Dean Ambrose as a person in real life.
Holy shit.
I honestly don't.
I got deep.
I honestly, after he did the podcast on Austin's podcast, and we got to see a little bit. That was his element. And even when you listen to his podcast right here live on Spreaker.com, the thing of it is that even when listening and not even seeing him, you could envision just the smirk on his face on how him and Rollins and Roman they thought we didn't care, we was the best, and we was willing to fight. Meaning, and he made it clear. They was willing to fight guys, go toe to toe in the locker room or in the WWE headquarters, the office. They didn't care. They was going to do whatever they wanted to do regardless. And who are you to say that? I'm sorry. Dean Ambrose's character is all right, but not as a person. You don't walk in there thinking you're better than everybody. You just don't.
I can get that. I remember the interview a little bit. He did seem he seemed stoned to me. I don't know. He seemed like he was definitely stoned. I thought it was interesting, kind of funny, but yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
And I haven't seen the podcast yet, so I don't have the context for that. So anyway.
Oh, yeah. Do you not have the network, Brian?
Oh, I have the network, but I have many obligations in my life, and I don't have the time to.
Oh yeah,
watch
definitely, yeah. Yeah. I caught it. I think I caught it right after Raw that week. So since we're still talking about the Royal Rumble a bit, and I was wondering what you guys would think if the 1994 Royal Rumble situation at the end happened again, where Bret and Lex won. They were co-winners. What would you guys think if something like that happened between like let's say.
Well, we did kind of get that back in like 05, wasn't it? The year that Batista won, but it was originally they screwed up and Cena and Batista eliminated the time. If they ever did that again intentionally, I would be down for it, I guess. I mean, they'd have to know what they were doing and have an exit plan, exit strategy. But, it's one of those things where you can't recreate the magic too often because then it gets pretty transparent, like what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't even know who you would have as those final two who eliminate each other.
A reasonable triple threat.
I was thinking, you could do that. You could use it for a triple threat. But I was thinking it could be Lesnar and Goldberg. I mean, have them both tumble out, at the last second, after everybody else is gone, it's over with. Have them both tumble out, and then they use that for the Roadblock pay-per-view main event to see who goes up against the guy at WrestleMania for the title, or even if they wanted to make it a triple threat at WrestleMania between Kevin Owens and Goldberg and Lesnar.
That match would be hilarious.
I think it'd be great. I really do. I really do think it's good.
You gotta have Jericho in the mix.
A fatal four-way?
You need an end.
You think it should go to be a fatal four-way? Is that what you're saying?
Well, Jericho right now, with his whole music career, is kind of tying in with the whole wrestling thing. It's kind of affecting it, not 100%, but it's going to be pressuring him to leave a lot sooner than he would like to. So for him to get a chance at the end with the Rumble would kind of give him a push as a final kind of bout to end his little reign there that he's kept going for a little while.
Yeah.
Because you got to do something there.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
You can't just let him sit there and die off. You got to give him that big goodbye.
He deserves a title. He deserves a strap whether he leaves or not. Chris Jericho is an amazing athlete. I think he deserves a one, like Mike said, one last goodbye, and putting the strap on him one last time. I think that would be cool.
No, you know who deserves a title before they retire? Gold Dust.
Gold Dust.
Yeah, perfect segue.
Yeah, that worked perfectly.
So much.
No, I mean, I talked to Brian about this off air earlier, and unfortunately he agrees with y'all as well. I feel like, I'm sorry, I just still feel like before he retires, this guy deserves the strap one time, or at least a world title opportunity. He really does. I mean, maybe not WrestleMania main event, but I would say SummerSlam. I mean, come on, this guy has been in the business for quite some time. He's paid his dues. He's always been.
And no one is questioning that Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, whatever you call him. No one's questioning whether or not he deserves it. But I mean, I'm willing to even concede. Yeah, you can give him a championship match, but I definitely wouldn't give him the championship. Now, maybe when he was younger, I could see putting the title on him, but. At this point, I don't believe in giving someone a world championship as a lifetime achievement award. If you're going to give the belt to somebody,
that was funny.
If you're going to give the belt to somebody, it's got to be someone who you believe can represent the company and carry them for some length of time. So, and I don't think Goldust, if it were 1997 or 1996 Goldust, when he was like the androgynous walking the line stuff, that would be newsworthy, I think. But to have the Goldust of today, which is so far away from that character now, you even question what he represents and what he's doing that for. I just don't buy it. I don't think. I mean, again, he's absolutely deserving. And if he worked for any other company, I think he would have gotten a world title by now. But I just don't think him at this point. I mean, they would have to do a serious rehabilitation of his character and a serious build for him to even come close to being deemed worthy for that. But if the Goldust today were given a shot, I wouldn't buy it.
Well, I think I could agree to just a title match, just to see him in the main event of a pay-per-view against somebody like Kevin Owens being taken seriously would be awesome.
Or give him one more Intercontinental Championship reign, because he was a great IC champion. Give him one more of those. It's fine. It's just not going to hurt anyone. So, but again, world title I think is a bit presumptuous, a bit outkicking your coverage.
Yeah, I can see that a bit. But yeah, Dino, you said you need
Yes.
to get out of here, boss man?
Yes, I got to talk to the wife, going other places and stuff like that for work. Brian, it was definitely an honor to meet you. Hopefully I can tune into that YouTube channel. Mellow Mike Tanay or Brian, could you send a link either through Skype or here on Spreaker.com? Big Bad Boo Bear.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for having me on here. Dino Mac is out. And remember, guys, for only $9.99 a month, you can buy the WWE Network. Okay?
Jesus Christ.
And it's a wonderful thing. It's an archive of wrestling.
How much they paying you, Dino?
Actually, you know what? I'm searching for him to pay me. I'm just searching for him.
He's got like this golden voice thing going on. We call him Dino. Don't call me. It's Dino, the man for your promo. That's the way. That's what we call him around here. He's actually he works for me here. This guy is the golden voice. I swear to God. But no, Dean, thanks for coming on with us, boss man. It was appreciated, bro.
All right, thank you for having me, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.
Alrighty.
All right, peace.
Peace. So, Brian, since you've told us you think Jericho, that's your prediction. That's your prediction is
Right.
Chris Jericho. What would you say to him? What would you say to Jericho actually winning, though? You think there should be any stipulations, or should it just be a one-on-one brawl between him and Kevin Owens?
I think it would just be a regular one-on-one matchup. I don't see a need to add any kind of stipulation for it. I think it's, unless it's like winner gets both halves of the friendship necklace. I just don't understand. I don't think there'd be a reason to have any kind of out there stipulations beyond just a title match at WrestleMania. I think that the story speaks for itself. I mean, they've really done a good job this last, like 6 months or so, 6, 7, 8 months, building their relationship from like Money in the Bank onward. I just think it's done really well. And like they've almost pulled the trigger on the breakup and then they backed off and they did it again and they backed off. And so I think now though, like the pieces are in place. And Jericho winning would be a tremendous catalyst for that storyline to progress to its natural conclusion.
Yeah, I have been ever since, like you said, this really started around Money in the Bank. I have been waiting to see this blow up. I knew it was going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And I have a feeling that it's just going to be like epic of all epic. I mean,
right. Of all the storylines not involving part-timers, it is the most compelling by far. In fact, it's like the only one by far not involving part-timers. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it only makes sense. It's just one of those things where it's like, the argument that people have. It's like, why should the full-timers, bust their ass every week, every night, only to have the once in a while guys come in and collect a paycheck and get the upper spots that the full-timers really should be getting.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think this match should do it. I think Jericho was really done dirty around WrestleMania 18. He was not the focal point in that championship match between him and Triple H, and they had to follow Rock and Hogan that year. Actually, that's not true. The women's title match had to follow Rock and Hogan, but then they had to follow that. And so, I just think having Owens and Jericho to cap off this really compelling story would be great.
Yeah, I think it would be great too. Man, bringing back WrestleMania 18. I forgot all about their match. That is sad. I can't believe I did that. Yeah, I totally forgot all about his match. That's the only matches I remember is the Steve Austin NWO match, and then Hogan.
That's the one you remember?
I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was an okay match.
I should remember for Scott Hall's Cell, the Stunner.
Yeah, like I thought it was good for. I mean, it was supposed to be better. They all wanted it to be better, but it was good for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really cool.
The story was Nash wasn't booked for a match on that show because he was a contingency plan in case Scott Hall screwed up.
Yeah,
God bless him. He waited until like a month or two after the fact to screw up.
I wish he wouldn't have though, because that was so sad the way they did the NWO after that. It just crumbled. I mean.
Yep.
Then Shawn Michaels joins, and that just kind of, I don't know how everybody else felt about that part, but I was, at this point in my life, I did not have the money for pay-per-view, so it was just Raws and SmackDowns for me. And, I'm younger, and I'm watching every Raw and everything, and just every Raw, it's just keeps going worse and getting worse and getting worse. And then Shawn Michaels joined, and I just hated it. I didn't think it was a good idea at all. I thought Shawn Michaels joining NWO was wrong, because, he was the enemy at one point,
Right.
I mean, I guess it really didn't matter, because a lot of them were the enemy, because, at one point you had, they had the Big Show in there after he was the Giant, but he was a Giant in NWO and WCW as well.
Right. There was some continuity there as well as with X-Pac. They tried their best, it's I don't think they could have predicted Hogan turning face so quickly. And then, you had Kevin Nash was injury prone. Scott Hall still had his alcoholism to deal with. And so they were just trying to do what they could to try to make the best of a bad situation. And just one thing after another. And they had Booker T for all of a few weeks. And Ric Flair was an honorary member as GM, but that didn't really pan out or lead to anything.
No.
And so,
but it was good for what it was, I guess. I wish they had done it better. But so Jericho winning the Rumble, going up against Kevin Owens, that's not a bad little prediction. I've never even, I don't know why I didn't even think about it, especially with Kevin Owens and them being best friends. Now, I was thinking Goldberg. I was thinking they might give it to old Goldie. And have him.
I don't think Goldberg or Lesnar are going to win. And it's not me saying, I hope they don't win. Of all the people involved, of all the names, they're the ones I would probably be most disappointed in them winning. But they don't neither of them have to win the Rumble and go to a championship match. I think their story will progress to WrestleMania for that third and deciding match.
Yeah, it would be nice though to see Goldberg take the title home one more time. I would really like to see him get the strap one more time. That would be really cool.
I'm almost tempted to say no, but at this point it's I'm still kind of a mark for the late '90s stuff. So I think there might be part of me that would enjoy it if it were booked well.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. It's just it all boils down to would I be entertained? Everyone's what about long-term continuity? It's I don't really care. It's just give me I live in the moment, and so people complain on my Who Wore It Better series. I don't think basically people complain when I give Raw the point every week, or not every week, but whenever I do give them the win, it's they say, well, it's you're just giving the point for all these short, all these short-term things they're doing just to get a pop. I'm well, SmackDown has much better story progression. Do they? And so it's SmackDown has the storylines with more continuity and longer arcs, but Raw is the more, it's kind of like the junk food, you get the short, sweet bursts of fun, and it eventually subsides. And so, I don't know, that's how I operate. I don't really retain a lot of information or a lot of memories about previous Raws. Does this one entertain me? And it's kind of in a bubble, comparing, A to B every week.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of how I operate.
That's about the same, though. I think really a lot of people work off that same system. If you're entertained, that show, then, it was a good show. If you're not, then it wasn't good for you.
Right.
Pretty much how it works. Because, the one thing I've been frustrated, though, with SmackDown is the Miz and Daniel Bryan thing. That thing really, the whole angle there has frustrated the hell out of me.
Yeah, it has been frustrating because, either they're going to have a match or they're not. And if they're not going to have a match, then why do all this? And I get, you can work around the fact that Daniel Bryan's retired by having him bring out a proxy to fight for Daniel Bryan, but that's not a very facey thing to do.
No, it's not.
So I think the natural conclusion to what we've been getting is that they're going to have a match. And I think if they do have a match, it's going to be Daniel Bryan wins in 18 seconds. And, that's pretty much all his body's allowed to take. And so I think that'd be fun, and it'd be kind of a fun way to end it. I don't think it would kill Miz's reign at all. But I think it's just, it's been going on for so long, and it was all happened when the infamous Talking Smack episodes, two of them actually. And like the whole Miz is stealing his moveset and his taunt and everything. Like that's got to lead to something. And on and off they've been kind of teasing it, but or planting the seeds for it. But unless they, if they don't keep the ball rolling or make the next step at Elimination Chamber, then I don't know. I don't know why they're bothering to do it.
Well, honestly, the way I would have done the Rumble is I would have had them to go at it beginning of the show or middle of the show. I know the way Daniel is, but they're obviously going to do something eventually. And if it were me and, Daniel was getting back in the ring for one more match, I would have booked it middle of the Royal Rumble. And it would have been not a long match, been a short match, and I would have had Miz go over. Because I feel like Miz is doing really good right now. And it wouldn't, like the way you said it, do it like 18, 20-second match, just kind of give Daniel the win. It really wouldn't take too much steam away from Miz.
Pay homage to Goldberg in a sense.
Yeah, it definitely would. But I feel like it'd be better to give the victory to Miz. Let him keep that heel thing going, because this is the first time in a long time. I don't hate Miz because I think he's a terrible wrestler. I only hate Miz because he's doing his job right. And that's my biggest thing with heels is make me hate you because you're doing your job. And don't make me hate you because I just don't like you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean he's probably one of the best, most complete heels in the company right now, if not just SmackDown. I do see next year. I do see this year being big for the Miz in some way. If they don't pull the trigger on the Miz as like a main eventer, then I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they tried too early last time with the infamous WrestleMania, like with WrestleMania 27 when he was the champion. It's one of the worst in the world, or worst ever, because I don't think the Miz was ready to have the title, in my opinion. I mean, I
don't know. I think that's. I disagree. I think I'm probably in the minority when I liked the Miz's championship reign. I didn't think his match with John Cena was great at WrestleMania 27, but nothing about 27 was great for the most part, except maybe for Taker, Triple H, and like Orton, Punk. But it's. I just think that. I think there were some missed opportunities with the Miz's title reign the first go around. I think the stank of that reign has by this point worn off. The point it's only been 5-6 years. I think it's time to put him back in that kind of spot.
I think he's ready.
I can't see him being mid card for life at this point.
No. He's not a mid carder for life. I think now though is a great time to start getting him into the main event scene, because I mean he's getting up to the levels where like very soon it would be really cool to see him take on somebody like Kevin Owens, or even to see him go up against John Cena again. Maybe now it might be really, really cool to see. So I mean,
right?
It'd be interesting waiting to see what they do with him, because I've never been a big fan of The Miz. I was never a fan for a long time. But just like I said here recently, he's been getting better in my opinion. Have you always been a big fan of The Miz, Brian?
On and off. Like when he first started, I thought he was kind of a doof, but he really grew on me over time. I especially liked his stuff with John Morrison and ECW and SmackDown. And when he broke out as a singles guy at first, I thought, there was a lot of potential there. I did, the fact they were giving him, he's a very decorated wrestler. They would just look at his career in that company. He's been U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion. Like he's done a lot of stuff. Like, and I don't think it's been undeserved. It's like I think that what's been going on with the Miz's character this last several months has been kind of like his way of fighting back against people who hate him for like backstage reasons. He's only good with the company. He only gets a push because of like what he's done with the company, his PR. I'm like, yeah, but like. It's not like he's not doing anything. It's not like he's a bad wrestler. I think people forget that like, he's not just a pretty face. He's not just a good public face for the company. He also, he works. He works hard. And the WWE style isn't like everyone's favorite, but Miz, in that Talking Smack promo, whether it was a shoot or a work or a little bit of both, I mean, he hit the nail on the head. He wrestles a style that prevents injuries. So I think that it's like, people love the style of Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins and Finn Balor and stuff like that. Those, the strong style and the Shinsuke stuff. It's like, but how? It's like why has there been this? Why was there like last year this rash of injuries? It's like you had a combination of like people who work this aggressive style, and also combining that with a WWE schedule, which is far more strenuous than anything these other wrestlers would have in Japan or Ring of Honor or anything like that. You combine all that, and that's what the injuries led to. So that's why I think the style was invented, because they are working a lot more dates than anyone else, any other company, and they got to wrestle a style that allows them to wrestle for a long, long time. It's not the exact same as, in the territory days like that. There was wrestlers who worked back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. They worked a style where they could work for decades. Not everyone did, but a lot of people could. And Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Buddy Rose are testaments to that, among other people. Sting. There's a way of doing it that allowed wrestlers to wrestle into their 50s and 60s, which is what we've seen up until recently. And I don't think you're going to see that in this generation of wrestlers. There's not going to be an equivalent of Ric Flair or Sting. Maybe John Cena is the one person I can think of, but like he was kind of like in the middle of eras between the old school way of wrestling and then like the new style. Mm-hmm. But there's no one else, I don't think. Like it's gonna be Cena and Jericho. That's gonna be the money match at WrestleMania 43. Cena and Jericho.
yeah.
They still wrestle a style that can actually like they don't have to kill themselves every night.
Well, by then though, wrestling may be extremely different. It could be like
wrestling. We'll all have anti-gravity belts, and people will just be bouncing off the walls and stuff.
Be wrestling CGI'd, Andre the Giant versus CGI'd Hulk Hogan. No,
right.
I got two more things before we let you go, because I'm sure we've kept you over time, and I don't like keeping people too long, because I know you've got stuff to do tonight. One thing from the fans out in the chat, I had a guy Chad here, the homie Chad. He said that he thinks that Samoa Joe should win or debut at the Rumble and take it from Kevin at WrestleMania. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Samoa Joe's a good option. What do you want? Sorry, I'm just being interrupted here. Just
of course, it's all right. You're fine, man. Life is, life happens like that.
Samoa Joe, I don't think he should win it. I definitely think he'll debut, but there's only so many surprise debuts and returns you can really have at the Rumble. Yeah. I think before it really kind of oversaturates it and kind of devalues them. I think you can only have really two. So it's like Samoa Joe and like who else are you going to get? Like Finn Balor, maybe. Not Kenny Omega, as it turns out. So he's off the table. But like, maybe those are the only two you get. So I don't know. It's again, I don't think he should win it. If John Cena wins on Sunday against AJ Styles, then maybe, and then that'll build Samoa Joe and John Cena. That'd be kind of a fun match. It'd be tricky to build that over 2 months and like trying to really establish these two have like a history, because they wrestled back in, they have a very similar upbringing. So I don't know. Anything's possible. It really, the last few years have been so like dull and like angering and predictable. I think this year has the best potential to be unpredictable. It might, no matter who they pick, like, whether it's a good choice or a bad choice, I still think it will be like unpredictable and fun.
Yeah, I think so too. I was talking about that earlier in the show before you came on, is that I've watched a few Royal Rumbles, but this one has been the most unpredictable for me, at least. Like, I can't.
It's definitely the most like star-studded I can recall in like quite some time, and like the last time I remember a time when so many wrestlers had like a valid claim to like win the whole thing was like 2001. So is it going to be as good as 2001? Who knows? As long as there's no Drew Carey, the odds are good.
I was actually not a fan of the 01 one. I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little drawn for me. The Drew Carey thing definitely was one of the reasons, and then like. I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
Well, I think the 01 Rumble is great because it was the last. It was probably the last Rumble of the. It was the last Rumble of the Attitude Era. And you had that combination of like comedy, but also like just like fun ass kicking brutality. You had Honky Tonk Man getting beat up. You had Drew Carey, and you had You had Kane being a monster the whole time, and you had Austin
That was
wailing
cool.
with a chair.
I remember that part. Yeah. I did like that part, but I don't know. It just the rest of it was just kind of blah, in my opinion, at least. Chad says in the chat room, "How mad would you be if Kane won it?" Yeah, I would probably be a little upset, probably pretty pissed if Kane won it. But the last thing I wanted to get your specific reaction on is that a few of my wrestling friends, because I talk a lot of wrestling, I don't really have a life, so besides work and hanging out with the family, it's wrestling. And I was talking to two friends the other day, and a lot of my friends are starting to think that Sting might try to come back for the Royal Rumble, which I think is a terrible idea. Because he says he doesn't want to get the surgery done. That's what he says. He says he doesn't want to get the surgery done because he wants the Undertaker match. And I feel like that is a absolutely terrible idea. It is.
God, it's too bad this is a podcast because otherwise I'd be popping up a whole lot of one of those nope gifs. Like, nope to all that. Nope to all of that because it's just like, I mean, look, the last time Sting Taker would have been good was like 5-6 years ago, and even then, the match quality would have been dicey at best. So, and like now with like a half broken neck, I don't think that would work. I just don't think it would work, And like I said, those two guys wrestled a style that allows them to wrestle into their old age, which is great. But it's just not now. Is not the time, Like they really waited too long to pull the trigger on that. So I just think it's wrestling's full of what ifs, and I think that's going to be like the biggest what if of all.
Yeah, I was thoroughly upset whenever Sting came to the WWE, and I'm okay. They're going to do Undertaker and Sting now. It's going to be what they do. I mean, why would they bring him back? Bring him here after all this time when they can't not know that the fans have wanted to see that match. And no, they do this Triple H thing, and they put Triple H over Sting at WrestleMania, which was absolute horseshit. Oh my god, I raged for at least a good 5 or 10 minutes when I seen that. I was not happy. I was so pissed.
that was a tough pill to swallow for sure.
Oh yeah, well,
but I was there live in the skybox, so everything was cool.
Oh, were you? That is awesome, dude.
Yeah, I got the hookup. It's too bad because our seats are behind the set, so like we couldn't see any kind of entrances. But we had great seats though. We were covered up, so no sunburn, which is nice.
That is cool. Yeah, I was actually gonna try and go to Mania this year because Mania's in my backyard, but unfortunately, it's just the nosebleed sections are extremely expensive, and I can't pull it out of my ass this year. So my seats for Mania aren't like amazing, but I spent less on those tickets. If I can get the word right, I spent less on those tickets than I did for No Mercy in Sacramento. Like in No Mercy, I was in the hard cam, but I wasn't like close. I was like in the first tier, and then like with Mania this year, I'm going to be looking like directly at the set, also in the first tier. But that's a much bigger stadium, so I'm spending a little bit less money. But like, yeah, it's just interesting. But I mean, yeah, again, and I was at WrestleMania 19, but I was on the very back of the floor, which like. In theory, the floor is a great spot, but like not when you are in the very back and like you're directly under the big screens. You got to look up and crank your neck up to even see anything, or stand up. And like that wasn't the best view in the world, but it was cool to be at WrestleMania 19. I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying like I think I don't know where I was going with it. I was talking about seats.
No, you're fine. No, I've only ever been to one actually. WWE event. It was an NXT event here in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't like a TV taping. It was just one of their little house shows they do. Mm-hmm. But it was really cool. I got to see two of my favorites, No Way Jose, and I can't even remember. I haven't watched NXT in so long. Iommi Gorkin, I think his name was.
One of your favorite guys, such and such. That guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's got the beard. He's got the beard and the yellow and black trunks. He's in the NXT. He hasn't made it to main roster yet, but I can't. I've only seen him wrestle like 3 times, and I loved all 3 of his matches. One of them was with Ty Dillinger. 10.
Oh, okay.
Really good stuff.
Nice.
But yeah. Thanks for coming on tonight, man. I appreciate you taking your time. I know you've got a busy schedule when you got your family and stuff like that.
Yeah, and sorry about the whole. That's like literally that was the absolute worst timing. And my kid pulled a heel move tonight, getting all sick right as I was calling into the podcast.
Is this your first? Is this your first?
No, well, it's my first child, but I have two. So, yeah, the second one hasn't gotten old enough to be a heel yet.
Well, I definitely I understand that, man. I got my little one, and she can be a heel. You know, she can be straight Stone Cold Savage heel. I mean, it just, my God.
Right.
But it gets better.
Well, I do have to go, but I'd like to plug my stuff if I can.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. Well, again, thank you for having me on the show, and I wish things were smoother at the beginning. But yeah, my YouTube channel is Wrestling with Regret. It's 167,000 subscribers and climbing, and I've been doing it for almost 4 years now. And it's just, for those of you who are listening who don't know what it is, it's like it's the Nostalgia Critic meets wrestling is pretty much the best way I could describe it. And then you've got I'm on Twitter at ZMan Brian Zane, Facebook Wrestling with Regret. And it's regret with a W at the beginning. It's for alliterative purposes. And so, yeah, and then, speaking of WrestleMania, I'll be all over the place in WrestleMania, Orlando WrestleMania weekend. There's WrestleCon at the Hyatt Regency on International Drive that weekend, Friday and Saturday. I'll be there with a vendor table, and D'Lo Brown's going to be my guest both days.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then on Saturday afternoon at 4:00, I'm hosting a show called The Internet Darlings Live. It's going to be a big super show panel with a bunch of wrestling YouTubers. It's going to be myself, Adam Blampier from What Culture, Grim from Grimm's Toy Show, JD from New York, Joe Cronin, Steven Larson from the Going in Raw podcast, and Matthew from Botchamania. And more are scheduled to be there as well. But that's our main panel. We're going to be doing panel discussions and Q&A with the audience, and it's going to be sketches. And it's going to be a fun time. So if anyone wants any more information on the Internet Darlings Live, they can go to my Twitter at ZManBrianZane, and my pinned tweet at the very top is a link to the tickets there with all the information.
Hell yeah, check his stuff out, guys. Follow him, like him. Watch his, dude, I'm telling you, everything on his YouTube channel is absolutely awesome. I think I've watched that WCW mini summer movies video like 3 or 4 times because I love it. It's hilarious.
Oh, thank you. That's one of my personal favorites too. Cole Cabana was great to work with. As long as we're plugging things, next week is my video about the XFL. Come out the same day as ESPN's, so should be interesting to contrast and compare.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that shit out. And before you go, real quick, you said you're going to be in Orlando? You're actually coming, you're going to the WrestleMania Orlando?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you suck. God. I wish I was closer to Orlando. I'd have to come out and hang with you. Oh, and Matthew, have you met him?
As close to Orlando as you could possibly get.
I am, but it's just, damn it, man. It's just, gas sucks. I'm in a Jeep, 2013 Jeep Patriot, and it just, it just sucks it down. I come out of the driveway. With now knowing that he's going to be down there, I might think about it because I've always wanted to meet this guy in person.
Just rent a car, go meet him up, and get a little video going or like a little recording for podcast, and there you go.
But yeah, Brian, thanks for coming on. And have you actually ever met Matthew?
Not in person, no. We've talked on Skype many a time. But that's about it. Of all the panelists who are going to be on this show, Adam Blampier is the one I met in person because I met him last year at WrestleMania in Dallas.
Yeah, I had Matthew on the show a while back too. He was really good, hilarious.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. But thanks for coming on, Brian. You have a good night, dude.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, we are going to take a quick 2 or 3 song music break so I can grab me a cigarette because I am
also
nicking.
One more thing.
Oh, and Mellow Mike has something. Go ahead, Mike. Mike?
What?
Did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I was saying that I plugged all of his pages.
Okay, cool. It's on the chat room.
His Facebook, his Twitter, and his Pro Wrestling Tees page for all his merch.
Awesome. All his stuff's in the chat room if you want to check it out, guys. I want to address some of these chats. Dabby Daly. I don't know if that's supposed to be Debbie or not. I'm not sure.
It's a play on for Debbie Daly.
Is it?
It's Bastard FC.
Oh, okay. Bastard FC. Good to see you in the chat room, buddy. Yeah, Zane is awesome. I guess you guys know who he is and you've seen his YouTube stuff, then I don't really need to explain it.
Oh, I've watched him for a few years.
I love that guy, man. I really do. You see how cool he was? He was really cool.
He's great, people.
Yeah, appreciate that guy.
Good conversation, too. Anything about wrestling, he's your guy.
Yeah. See, now I just have to get Adam on here. That's the plan. That's like, I've been hitting up YouTubers a lot. I got Matthew. I got Brian Zane. I've got to get Adam Blomp here. That's a goal. It is a goal. You know, one day I will. And I think he's saying it's Stabby, you sexy bastard. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I got a few tracks for you guys while I go get me a cigarette, and we're going to hang out for the last hour, maybe 35, 45 minutes. Mike, would you mind can you put together an ROH report when we get back?
Sure, I can do that.
If you've got it around. I mean, I don't.
All right, no worries.
All right, cool. When we come back, we've got an ROH report. I'm going to talk a little about WCPW. Honestly, I've missed the last few shows. I've had a busy week. It's been my vacation, and I've had so many things to do. 4 interviews. I moved furniture. I put together a 50-inch television today, the stand and the cord and getting it set up. It's been a busy week. So I'm going to try and do what I can to piece together some sort of loaded report for you guys. But keep it locked here on Exit 92 Radio because I'm feeling me tonight, Mike. I am feeling good about myself. You know that? You know those days when you just wake up and you look in the mirror and God, you say, God damn, that's a sexy bastard. Do you have those days?
It happens. You get those days every once in a while.
Yeah, it does happen. All right, so I got a cover of Billy Withers' Use Me by myself and Mad Mike Miner. I got 40 Days and 40 Nights by the Black Cadillac Kings, which their interview and Bob Corritor's interview will be dropping Monday night at 8 o'clock or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, depending on what time everything goes. It's going to be a twofer for you. It's going to be a 2-for-1. And then In My Dreams by Danny Trashfield. So keep it locked here on Exit 92 Radio, please. If you haven't hit that like button, please do. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, if we have one, I guess that would be the equivalent of the follow. I keep saying subscribe. I don't know. Hit the follow button and share it around. Tell your friends to come hang out at the coolest spot in town with the Big Bad Boo Bear, Mellow Mike Tenay, and all the greatest people. Yeah. Okay. Here's some Use Me by Bill Withers. And
seen the sun, I think the sun has died. Ooh. Stop the rain. This endless rain keeps falling, heaven's bringing its hammer down. I think I'll build an ark unless you're gonna drown. 40 days and 40 nights, here it comes again. The time's come to forgive me, unless you'd rather swim, baby, come on in. These crazy days are ending, been watching the water rise. Can't stop and then I see you, panic in your eyes. Never meant to cause you trouble, never meant to cause you pain. Come on in, love me, come out of the rain. 40 days and 40 nights, here it comes again. The time's come to forgive me, unless you'd rather swim, baby, come on in. Unless you'd rather swim, come on in. 40 nights, here it comes again. The time's come to forgive me, unless you'd rather swim, baby, come on in. Baby, come on in. Unless you'd rather swim. Oh, can't swim forever. Wanna swim, can't swim forever. If you wanna swim, can't swim forever. Guess you can't swim, can't swim forever. You can't swim forever. You can't swim forever.
I'd go home, but there's nothing there for me. Just a hope for what someday it may be. So I roam wherever this road leads, but I don't know how much more my heart can bleed. But in my dreams, you're standing next to me. We have everything we need, and I don't want to sleep, for fear that I'll awake and be right back in this place. I loved you, but I doubt you ever knew the truth. Sometimes it's just so hard to prove. But I can't cut the skin from off the bone, and there's a hole you may never know. But in my dreams, you're standing next to me. We have everything we need, and I don't want to sleep, for fear that I'll awake and be right back in this place. if everything is truly as it seems. Then I'll hold you tight, finally sleep on through the night, 'cause I know you'll always be with me. In my dreams, you're standing next to me. We have everything we need, and I don't wanna sleep for fear that I'll awake and be right back in this place. For fear that I'll awake and be right back in this place.
Yes, sir, that was In My Dreams from Danny Trashville. We got one more track coming up, and then we're going to be back here live on Exit 92 Radio. Here comes some Dave Riley and Bob Cortor with Snuff Drippin' Woman. And Bob Cortor will also be in that twofer coming up Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with the Black Cadillac Kings. 2 interviews, 1 night, 1 chance to catch them live. Come on out, hang out with the Big Bad Boo Bear for a little bit. Here we go.
I got a snuff dipping woman, snuff juice running all down her dress. Yeah, I got a snuff dipping woman, snuff juice running all down her chin. You know, she kissed me once, y'all, but I didn't know. But I never let her kiss me again. Take a look at yourself. Girl, you really look a mess. I said, take a look at yourself. I declare you look a mess. See, I paid a lot of money for the clothes you're wearing, baby. Now you got snuff juice running all down her dress. You're a real fine girl, but girl, your habit is much too rough. I said, you're a real fine girl, I declare your habit is rough. up too much. You see, I'm gonna have to put you down, baby. If you don't stop, if you don't stop dipping that stuff. I got one more thing to say right here, y'all. This is what she told me, this is how she said it. She said, before you leave me, there's one thing I want you to know, yeah. Before you put me down, yeah. There's one thing, I want you to know, yeah. And how much I'm gonna miss you, baby. Oh yeah, yeah. After you have gone away from me.
Hey, everybody! Welcome back to the 4-Post Massacre with the big bad Bo Bear and Mellow Mike today. Jay couldn't make tonight; he's been a little bit busy. He's got a lot of work on his hands, so unfortunately he couldn't. But his pick for the Rumble is Joe. Actually. Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, his pick for the Rumble is Joe as well, so him and Chad both think that Joe are going to win the World. Which he very well could. He'd very well take it. He should have been on the main roster a year ago, so I would think they're going to finally put something in his corner. And then you brought up Zane during the break. Sami Zayn. Yep. I think that Sammy would be another great voice for the.
Like I said, I was leaning towards Jericho. However, since he wants to end his run, I don't see how this would be a good thing for him. Depends on how long he's going to be in the WWE and when he's going to push his career with his music for the tour and all that jazz.
Yeah. Maybe it should be Stevie Richards. Stevie Richards should win the Royal Rumble, guys. That should be the guy. A lot of love out there for Brian Zane, as the chatty has blown up a little bit with Dabby Daly, and I guess that's Stabby, and then a few other people. Yeah, great stuff from Brian Zane tonight. Once again, buddy, if you're out there listening at all, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. So, before we get into any ROH news, because we got that coming up in just a second, we were going to do a quick top 10 Royal Rumble winners, because, it's Royal Rumble special. And for Royal Rumble, we got to do top 10 Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble. It's really hard to start saying that so many times in a row. Royal Rumble. You say it like Samuel Jackson probably said. Royal Rumble, motherfuckers. The Royal Rumble. All right, so here we go. So number 10, I think who definitely should be on a list of like top 10 Royal Rumble winners would be the 1993 Royal Rumble winner, one Mr. Yokozuna.
Oh, Yokozuna is a great winner, hands down.
1993 was the only year he ever won, but that same year he stayed the title winner. Which he may have lost it and got it back, but he was the title. He had the title whenever Brett and Lex won the 1994 Royal Rumble, and they had to fight over who was going to go up against him for the title.
I mean, his win was I think it was a nice classic win there, because you don't see that many of the bigger wrestlers winning Royal Rumbles too often.
Yeah, big guys don't usually win Royal Rumble.
No.
That's always
they used to have like 2 or 3 people throw them off over the top ropes.
Yeah, it's usually the stigmatism, unfortunately. Yeah. That they are, Big Show's my pick, yada, yada, yada. Jerry's always like, Big Show is my pick this year, and he never wins. And I'm upset that he hasn't so far, but, Whatever. So that's my number 10. Number 9, I think, a good Royal Rumble. It was a great match, and then the guy who won it, I think he should have won it for that year. I think that was one of the last times he should have been relevant. I'd have to say the 2005 Royal Rumble winner, Batista.
Yeah, Batista he was all right.
He was all right. And I mean, under any other circumstances, you'll never hear me say he was good and then Batista in the same sentence. But in 2005, Batista was on top of his game. He was in the middle of the Evolution thing. I can't remember if at this point he was past it or not. It's been a while.
Yes, Evolution.
Yeah, it was a great stable. But I can't remember if he was past that, or if he was working. He was going up against them or not. It's 2005, a long time ago. But I do remember the finish, and that we actually talked about it earlier. That was the finish where Vince blew both his quads getting into the ring after they both went out at the same time.
Oh, I'm going to send you a photo. They won't be able to see it, but you'll see it in chat here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. But, I thought it was a good match, and I thought that Batista was the guy to win it. I don't think John Cena was ready to win a Royal Rumble just yet. I think he had the title, maybe, at one point or another. But still, great match. Batista definitely deserves a spot there. Ew, I can't believe I said that again. And, yeah, that was a good Royal Rumble. What do you think about that one, the 2005 one? What do you think about that?
I thought it was decent. For what it was worth, it was a good Royal Rumble. I mean, for me, there are better Rumbles. But for 205, I think they did a really great job, and they pulled it off nicely.
Yeah, it was pulled off really good.
Hey, Batista getting a chance to win it, that's worthwhile. I mean, now I wouldn't look at him as Rumble material. But at the time, he was actually worthwhile to watch in a main event kind of match.
I do,
because he was still at his prime.
Yeah, I do wish he had kept that momentum going for the match at Mania, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that match was terrible. It really was. I literally fell asleep during it. I lost the second half of that WrestleMania. And I don't even care, because there was only 2 matches on it, and they were both the title matches for that year, which John Cena ended up in the main event for SmackDown anyway, so it really didn't fucking matter if he won it or not. But, because this was still a brand split, he went up against JBL for the title for SmackDown.
Oh.
But it just was bad. I mean, both matches were bad. I mean, the JBL John Cena match was a little more bearable. But that match sucked. Now, the first half of the show was awesome. The Money in the Bank ladder match, that was a great match. Chris Benoit, I think, pulled off the victory there, I think. Maybe? It was either Chris Benoit or Kane. I don't know. I don't really remember. Or, it probably wasn't either one of those guys. It might have been Edge. It was one of the guys that was in the match. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those people. And then you had the Shawn Michaels-Kurt Angle match, which to this day stands as my very favorite WrestleMania match. It is a great match. A little slow at the beginning.
You got a great wrestler like Shawn Michaels going against Kurt Angle. And what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it.
It is everything.
Phenomenal.
No, it was a great match. I love that match. It's my favorite. It's everything that the Goldberg versus Lesnar match at WrestleMania 21 should have been. Or 23. I can't remember which one they did it at. But whichever WrestleMania they were at, that's the kind of match they should have had. It was just... Yeah. I mean, it was just... You really didn't know who was going to win. It brought you back to that innocent wrestling feeling of, wow, I don't know who's going to win this match. Because now it's so hard to have that when there's the internet and you have people like us ruining fucking shows for you.
Yeah, you just like, oh, this guy's gonna win, so I'm gonna root for the other guy.
But this match, I've watched it 5 or 6 times. A bunch more than that, and I'm get on the edge of my seat because for a minute there, you really think Shawn's gonna pull it off. Which here comes the spoiler part of that. Shawn loses, so great match though. Oh, great match. All right, so Batista gets the 2005, the number 9 pick. Number 8, I would have to say that's got to go to Edge. Edge only won one Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And that Royal Rumble, he came back from an injury off of. He wasn't supposed to be back yet, but he came back anyways after an injury. And he showed up, I think, number 27 or 26.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the later.
Yeah, it was one of the very last. And he cleaned house. And I've seen that Rumble. And it was a good Rumble. It was solid. And then he comes in and just, you get the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, you know.
Yep.
And it was just a great match. It really was. And he did really well. And it was something that you'll always remember is that music playing. You know.
See, because sometimes people come back too early and they haven't recovered 100%, and then they just botch things for themselves.
But
and
they
dig their own grave.
Yeah.
But with Edge actually did the right thing.
Yeah, he came back at the right time. But, I mean, really, though, it was just another month before he left.
Yeah.
Because right after WrestleMania 27? Wasn't it 27?
I believe so.
I can, you know what? I have my encyclopedia right the fuck here. That'll bug me if I don't find out. So give me just... 108. 108. We are on 109. No, we are on 104. Sorry. Excuse me. 108. Edge and his retiring. Where is it at? January 2010, Edge bolsters historic legacy when he last eliminated John Cena to win the Royal Rumble match. We were just talking about that. With the victory, Edge became the only superstar in history to have won the King of the Ring tournament, Money in the Bank contract, and the Royal Rumble match.
Yep, that was in 2015.
So yeah, it doesn't say if he retired. I believe he did though. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now, and it's saying that was his year that he retired.
So yeah, he retired then. That was just a month or
WrestleMania 27, April 3rd to 11.
Yeah, he retired right after that, and yeah, it was a great final way to cap off his career, winning the Royal Rumble, getting the title at WrestleMania, and then the next night calling it quits. You know, he was a great wrestler, and he did what he was supposed to. He kept you. You hated him because he did his job right, and he made you hate him. You loved him because he did his job right. He made you love him.
That was when he faced Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, that was a great match too. That was a little.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a great little match.
Because Del Rio won the Royal Rumble, and then he faced Edge for that big head-to-head matchup for the heavyweight.
Yeah, that was a really solid match.
Definitely.
Oh, I made a mistake earlier. Excuse me. Batista has won 2 Royal Rumbles, the 05 and the 14 one. But his 14 win is not going to make it onto the list because that one sucked.
Yeah. So what happened was he appeared after the 27 WrestleMania on Raw to inform people that he wouldn't be wrestling because of persistent neck problems, so they didn't clear him to come back into the ring.
Yeah.
And it's a risk of possible permanent paralysis, so he would have been paralyzed in the neck.
And that is never worth it, you know. I would
his place afterwards, so I mean it all worked out.
Alrighty. The number 7 spot, I got to give it to Brock, and that was 2003 Royal Rumble. Now, he only won one. Have you ever seen 2003 Royal Rumble?
I did not see that one.
It was actually really good. Well, depends on who you are. By the way, Dabby, thanks for hanging out for us for a little bit. He's going off to get some dinner. Thanks for hanging out, bud. We appreciate the listen. No, that Royal Rumble was an interesting event, and it was an interesting actual match itself. You know, Brock fought Big Show, like beginning of the show, for his spot in the Royal Rumble, and he won. I think he got number 30. You know, he comes in number 30, he cleans house, and he wins. And it was a good match. A lot of people don't like it. Now, the entire event was interesting because there were some matches that were okay, and there were some matches that were bad. And I solidly stand by the Scott Steiner Triple H match of that year and say that I liked it. I don't care what anybody. I know everybody else hates it, but I did actually enjoy it. I think that it was good for what it was. It was a great little title match. It could have been a little better, you know, because of Scott's lack of wrestling skills, I guess, would make it.
Well, he's got lots of lack. But that's all thanks to his alcoholic issues.
Yeah, he has a lot of.
I mean, he's good for interview purposes and like having a conversation. But aside from that, he's not good in the ring.
Yeah, he's not ever been the best in the ring. In between, you know, his bumbles and stumbles in the ring, and then even word-wise, bumbling and stumbling all over promos.
Yeah.
He has never really been the best at anything. So, I'm just saying, I never liked him except for when he was with Rick. Him and Rick did some good stuff together, but besides that, it was...
Yeah.
But the match was good. It was solid. I liked the match, no matter what anybody else said. I thought it was pretty damn good. But I am somewhat of a Triple H fan to an extent. When he's doing what I want him to do, I like him.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
Definitely.
You didn't see the 2003 Royal Rumble, though?
No, I did not watch it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was like one of the first times I ever seen John Cena. He came out rapping. And B Squared was out there, too, which was... Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
B Squared. That guy. So, at number 6, I believe we're at 6, right? Yeah?
Yes, we are.
At number 6, I'm going to have to, you know, I just talked about him earlier, but I think I'm going to have to give it to the Bret Hart Lex Luger Rumble. Because it was a solid little Rumble, and then the ending just threw you off.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like the one with Batista and Cena. It was a good match. You know, you really didn't know who was going to win that one either, and then it came down to the point where they couldn't decide who won. That was the best part, too. That was
it was a toss-up.
Jack Tunney coming out there and, you know, trying to decide who won. You know, that was pretty cool. I miss Jack Tunney. He was a great little figurehead for the company.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead now.
They've had a lot of great figureheads. Just people just start falling through the cracks or dying off. And
well, you know, my favorite figurehead was Gorilla. I thought Gorilla was the best.
Gorilla Monsoon is phenomenal.
You know, he was the best little figurehead.
He's
guy.
good. Mean Gene Okerlund, Jesse Ventura.
Was Mean Gene a figurehead too?
He was there. He was more in the commentator kind of deal, but I mean, he had his moments.
Excuse me.
Not so much as Gorilla did, but
yeah, he definitely had his moments. But yeah, you know, the Lex Luger Bret Hart match, great match. Both of them definitely deserve a spot on this list. Top 10 Royal Rumble winners. They won with some style. The match was solid, and I mean, the storylines were there, so it led up to some great storylines. So let's see, number 5, I think we've made it to, has got to be... What'd you say?
huh?
You say something?
No.
Oh.
I was just agreeing that we're on number 5.
Yeah, number 5. Number 5 has got to be Ric Flair.
Flair was phenomenal.
1992 Royal Rumble. This guy comes in at number 2? Number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was number 2. And he wins it. Goes through all of them. Every single one of them. Number 2, and he wins the damn show. So how can that not be, you know, it's got to be up there. You know, those I've seen it. I love the ending. I love where Hogan got involved and pulled Psycho Sid out after he had already been eliminated. And I thought it was just a cool little match. It just set up everything. You know, Flair's now got the chance. No, actually, at that point, the title thing hadn't been brought up yet. I think it wasn't for another year or so. 1993 Royal Rumble was the first year they started doing the stipulation, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. But still, you know, the Royal Rumble was a bragging right at that time. They were just doing this saying that, hey, I can beat 30 other people in one match. And he did.
Yeah.
He outlasted 30 other wrestlers.
Then it was like only the fifth Royal Rumble that had happened back in '92.
Yeah,
so it was just starting up.
Yeah. The first one was in '88, and it was won by our next person on the list, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And you can't not put him in here. This guy, he came in middle of the Rumble, was not a guy you would think would win the Royal Rumble. I mean, at the time, it was the first Royal Rumble, so you really didn't know what kind of person is going to win. But it's just Hacksaw was just not the guy you would think was going to win that night, and he did. And he beat One Man Gang at the very end to win the Royal Rumble, and I was like, wow. I didn't see it because I watched it. And I didn't see it coming. I did not see him beating One Man Gang. I love me some One Man Gang, dude. That guy's awesome. You ever seen the '88?
Yeah, I watched it. I like Hacksaw. He's pretty decent, wrestling-wise. I love how he comes in the ring with his 2x4, and then he goes AO, and he's Heyo with the thumb in the air.
Heyo! Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was some good stuff.
Yeah, he came down for a show in our city.
Lucky you, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
we also had Kurt Angle, but I didn't get a chance to get in for the autograph. They had to get the show started. That's how big the lineup was. I mean, it wasn't a massive lineup, but there was enough people to the point where it took up enough time to where nobody could get an autograph like the rest of the people.
All right, so we're coming down to our last. I have not been watching time. We're coming down to our last 30 minutes, and we still got to get that ROH report in here.
Oh,
alrighty.
We'll get that.
Yeah. All right, so we're down to our last three after Hacksaw Jim Duggan was number 4. Number 3 is got to be Mr. McMahon with that 1999 Royal Rumble where he hung back until everybody was in. He came in and eliminated, I think it was Austin at the very end, you know. And won it.
Austin upset.
Oh, Austin was pissed. He was pissed.
I know.
That
was part of the whole feud, so, I mean, it had to happen.
Yeah. And then the next guy on our list at number 2 has got to be HBK Shawn Michaels. I mean, he won 2 Royal Rumbles. One of them he came in at number 1. The only guy to ever do that, 1996, comes in at number 1, hangs out through all of them and wins the thing. So, you know, if anybody deserves to be this high up on the list, it's, you know, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And I think he went on to win the title. Yeah. Won 2 in a row, 2 consecutively. But he's not the only man to win 2 consecutively, as our number 1 spot goes to the guy who not only won 2 consecutively, but he is the only man to have ever won 3 in a row. 3 in general. He's won 3, 2 of them consecutively. One Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the 1997, 1998, 2001 Royal Rumble all belong to this guy. And, I mean, what more can you say about that? You know, Stone Cold?
There you go, rattlesnake all the way.
Yeah, I mean, when he comes in there, it's time to... You might as well just get out the fucking ring, really. I mean...
Yeah.
Because even if he doesn't win, he's taking your ass with him.
Celebrating afterwards, pulling out the beers.
He might as well just start celebrating on the way to the ring. You know, just say, fuck it. You know, just throw him a beer.
He's done that too.
Yeah.
Comes in with beer half the time.
You know what's funny? Looking through that entire list. Looking through this and... Yeah? You say something?
No.
Okay. Looking through that entire list... Macho Man, Randy Savage never won a Royal Rumble.
No, he did not.
They gave it to Hogan twice. They gave it to Big John Studd in '89, for Christ's sake, but they couldn't give Macho one. What the fuck is that? Neither did Warrior. A lot of guys you would think who had probably won the Royal Rumble didn't.
Nope. They could have given so many people a chance. Like even Genius.
Eddie Guerrero should have won one. That guy definitely should have won.
Oh, Eddie was tops, hands down.
Yeah, he was. But yeah, that's your top 10.
He's not his father, but he's classic.
Yeah,
I mean,
Gory
he's
was great. Gory was great.
Yeah.
Him and El Santo did some really good stuff.
Oh, El Santo's son.
Yeah.
You had Destroyer. That was Dick.
Was it Dick?
Bauer, I think. He wore the, was it woman's underwear or whatever the heck it was, as his mask?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Destroyer.
That's what I'm talking about. That is the Pussy Destroyer. That's what his name probably was.
He started the whole mask thing with the whole woman's thing kind of deal. I'll look it up online later, and I'll fill you in after the show on what it was.
For sure, bro.
Yep.
Alrighty. So now we've reached the end of our show. Are you going to give us a quick ROH report? Because we got about 15 minutes before Rowdy's.
15 minutes sounds like a plan. I can dig that. Alright, so ROH TV recap. Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll made a debut for the ROH TV show. I mean, they've done house shows and stuff, but they haven't actually been on the show itself.
Love Marty Scurll. That guy's awesome.
Yeah. Villain Marty Scurll versus John Gresham. That was the first match. Marty Scurll defeated John Gresham by submission. What else happened? Adam Cole recapped becoming the first 3-time ROH World Champion. They have who was that? Oh, it was a response to the Hardys challenge, which that was the Young Bucks, I think it is it?
Oh yeah, it was the Young Bucks. I heard about that.
Yeah, Young Bucks are accepting Hardys challenge. The Hardys react to it. So now you've got them at Supercard of Honor. So they're going to go head-to-head. I think that's going to be a phenomenal match. Because you got two great tag teams going head-to-head. Like, you can't go wrong with watching the Young Bucks. And you got Matt and Jeff. And they're not as good as they used to be, but they're recovering. So they're at least getting somewhere right now. Because they got to bounce back from all the bullshit that they've been through over the years. Like drugs and so on. You get the drift.
Yeah.
Alright, decades of excellent tournament. Semi-final match. Christopher Daniels versus Chris Sabin. Let's see here. Christopher Daniels defeats Chris Sabin by pinfall to advance to the finals of Decade of Excellence. And then you have The Addiction versus Bullet Club.
Bullet Club.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down. I'm looking at all this. And then the Ring of Honor main event, Will Ospreay versus Kushida and Dragon Lee.
Is Jushin there?
Huh?
Is Jushin there?
No.
Damn it. I wanted to do it, but I guess he wasn't there.
Kushida defeated Will Ospreay and Dragon Lee. Kushida's the one from NJP. Was it? Yeah, NJPW. New Japan. He's pretty good.
I've heard of Kushida. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's pretty damn good.
Definitely. Let's see. And I'll just hook you up with a couple more things. You can look it up afterwards who Kenny Omega is, but he is returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling, reveals why he's speaking out now. What does it say? It's a short little tidbit. I'll pull it up for you here. Alright, so Kenny Omega was on the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio and announced he has decided to return to NJPW Pro Wrestling instead of heading to WWE. Omega told WOR's Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez that he wanted to get the news out now since there have been a bunch of rumors about him showing up at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this Sunday. Omega is currently still signed to a deal with NJPW through the end of the month, but he said he didn't want to give fans hope of him appearing at the show or being disappointed that he didn't. Omega said he wanted to get his status out there since he's been accused of attempting to possibly work people, and said he really did not know what he would choose. Omega said it was unfortunately that it had to be this way with an announcement because he knows some people will be disappointed, but he doesn't want to take away from the Rumble pay-per-view. Omega noted that not signing a deal with NJPW yet, but he will travel back to Japan next month to work terms out for the new contract. He said there's always a small chance things fall through, but he is confident he will work out a deal and would like to sign a one-year contract because he still has goals he wants to accomplish in Japan. Omega said he feels like he could make a bigger impact in Japan now since WWE is so loaded with talent at the moment.
He probably would make a bigger impact, to be honest. WWE is loaded. Loaded.
Right now, him coming back, like people rumored, it's not going to happen. Because he already came out and told everybody and just blew all that bullshit out of the park. So him going back there is good for Japan. Because they need more talent. They've got phenomenal talent. But to have more guys that are like from, say, North America or Europe and all that shit, it works out. It gives them a little more variety. It's like back in the day. You had people like Vader and like Magnum and all these guys that were going down there, like Terry Gordy and Terry Funk and so on. And they all went out there to wrestle. And that's what it was. It was bringing in a different kind of wrestling to the Japanese audience. Just like with all those different promotions bringing wrestlers to the U.S.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Kenny Omega, I'll have to look him up some, and I'll have to be looking around and waiting to see if he shows back up. Or shows up here in the WWE.
NJPW is like, I mean, compared to WWE, it's a whole new ballpark.
Yeah, it really is, because I have tried watching some, and it's nothing against NJPW. It really isn't. But
no.
It can be kind of hard to follow.
All Japan. I've seen a whole bunch of those promotions, and it's like a totally different fan bases too. Like you watch their ring, like people coming in and all that shit, and there's more fans watching NJPW than there are watching WWE. Like in the actual arenas, because the arenas are made bigger because of the fan bases.
Yeah, and it feels like it's bigger just watching it. You know,
yeah, because I've watched a few of them, and you're looking at the people around, and it's just scaling up, and there's hundreds of thousands of people there.
Yeah,
compared to where WWE, you don't have that many. Only for like WrestleMania.
But it's still some good stuff, and I would suggest it to anybody. Yeah. There's a lot of hidden gems out there that come from Japan. Some of my favorite matches from overseas had to have been the Deathmatch Tournament of 1996 with Mick Foley taking on Terry Funk in the main event, which was really good.
There you go.
Yeah, some really good stuff. You think you like Mick Foley now. If you're into hardcore wrestling, that is where you need to watch him because
back then it was phenomenal.
When they call him the King of the Death Match, it isn't some honorary title. This guy earned every fucking word of it. He earned every damn letter. He earned it. Great matches over there.
Go over there as like Cactus Jack, or his regular like Mick Foley, or he'd have his Mankind gimmick. Like in what was 94, 95, he did. He had a match with who was it? Terry Gordy at King of the Death Matches. He did one with Shuji Nakamaki. He versus Terry Funk.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of phenomenal shit.
A lot of phenomenal stuff from overseas. You just got to go look for it. I mean, it's really good. I promise you would. You'll love it if you check it out. So I guess that was your ROH report.
Yeah, that was ROH and a little bit of plug-in for NJPW.
Yeah, NJPW as well. Really need to get some more stuff for them as well next show.
Definitely. Check it out.
Well, actually, I wanted to say a few things about something I didn't forget about. I didn't know if you forgot about it. I was saving it for the last bit of the show because a lot of people feel it's a very controversial subject. But recently, the wrestling universe lost, in my opinion, a great wrestler, somebody who was part of one of the greatest times in wrestling. And that's Superfly Snuka, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, I know that a lot of people have got a problem with Jimmy because of the possible murder.
Mm-hmm.
But I stand where I stand with Jimmy, the same place I stand with Chris Benoit. And the fact is, if he did it, well, in Jimmy's case, it is an if because it was never proven. If he did it, then yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely dreadful if he did it.
Yeah.
He's getting that. He's getting what he deserves right now for that. But
yeah,
I will say that
he's got what was it, dementia or something?
Yeah. Jimmy's dead.
Yeah, I know he's dead, but he had
he
had some kind of disease or whatever. Or was it Alzheimer's? I don't know. He had something.
It was something like that. And, I'm not saying that he paid his price for it. I mean, it's really all in what you believe in, I guess. But I don't look at that. I'm not looking at his personal life. I'm looking at what he did in the ring for the business. That's what we talk about here. I don't talk about what John Cena does on his days off. I talk about what he does in the ring. And what Jimmy Superfly Snuka did in the ring was nothing but magic. I mean, there's a reason that on the pre-roll for every WWE show, you still see Jimmy Superfly Snuka jumping off the top of the cage. Jimmy Superfly Snuka came up in a time when wrestling was wrestling. And without him, people like Mick Foley, people like Stone Cold, may not have gotten into the business. Maybe if they did, maybe different people. He had an impact on a lot of different wrestlers, and he will be sorely missed by the community who cares about the wrestling. I don't care about his person. See, that shit pissed me off a little bit. Because, I mean, you and I have seen it just this week. We're not going to name anybody. But I've seen it in Facebook chats, and I've seen it in Facebook posts and social media everywhere. People are like, oh, fuck him, fuck that. And I'm like, man, I don't care about his personal life. I don't. I could give a shit less what he ate for breakfast. That's not what it's about. It's about what he did in the ring. And I think we can both agree that he was a master of bringing you to a different plane when wrestling was on. When you watch Jimmy, it was definitely different, barefoot and all. He did some really good stuff with Roddy.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did some really good stuff with Roddy Piper, the coconut shit. That was
the Piper's bit, yeah.
Yeah, that was some good shit, man. I just
make fun of his culture.
it's just a sad day. You know, it's been a sad couple of weeks. You know, Jimmy he wasn't like, I'm not going to tell you he was my all-time favorite or anything. I mean, you know, but I liked him, and it's just sad that he's gone. I think that he was a really good wrestler. And it's unfortunate that we lost him, but he was getting up there in that age. I'm just glad he didn't try to make earn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that would have been bad. I think that it's just like The Undertaker, though. The Undertaker needs to just be done with it.
Yeah.
But I did have... I don't know what the hell that was. If you heard that, guys. But, you know, we're going to say goodnight.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's about time for us to be hitting that old dusty trail. And thank you, Brian Zane, for coming on. Thank you, Mike, for coming on with me and, you know, doing the co-hosting for tonight with me, hanging out.
Oh, brother.
Being the dude. And yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week with a regular 4-Post Massacre. We're going to talk a little about the WWE UK tournament a bit next week. I wanted to this week, but, you know, it was really taking up. The Royal Rumble is a big deal. We got 4 days until the Rumble. No, 3 days. And I will not be able to see it until the 30th. So if any of you fuckers try and Facebook message me the ending, I will destroy you. I will find you, and I will cut you like a fish. So just know that. Just know that.
Like a plan.
Mike, dude, I swear to God, you fuck this up for me, I will hurt you. I will hurt you.
What if I give you the wrong results?
I will still hurt you, because you lied to me, damn it. And I don't stand for liars. Alright, guys, we're out, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Bam.